We are back! We're so back in action!
And we're the
Four.
best friends that anybody could have. We're the
Four.
best friends that anyone could have. We're gonna do things all the time together.
That is right, everybody. We are the four best friends that anyone ever had. We got Brick Artemis, we got DLO The Collector, and we have EvilSneaker's protege, Evil Figure.
That's
Who
gonna
is our
take now.
new
Damn it.
best friend. Too sweet to you, Justin. Thank you for being here tonight.
Hello.
And
Yeah, man.
filling some pretty big shoes, but I actually got a feeling that I think you're gonna do a great job, and I think there might be an opportunity for you in the near future to maybe replace one Evil Sneaker. So it's good to have you here. Good to have you back on the show. I know it's been a while. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my time to strike. Steve's off, New York Comic Con. This is a perfect opportunity for me, man. A big stage, a big opportunity while he's away enjoying New York. So we'll see what happens at the end of the show, man. Chat, let us know. Let us know if you like the new look Wolfpack, baby. No, I'm just playing. But no, I'm excited, man. I'm good to see D-Lo, Brick, and you, of course, Graham. So excited to talk about some stuff, man. We have a lot of news to talk about, man. It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, a good amount of news tonight, but really good conversations that I think are gonna spawn from those figures that have been announced, released, all that good stuff. So lots of really fun topics to talk about. Brick, how you doing, my friend? How's your week going?
You know what? It's going pretty good. Wednesday couldn't have come at a better time, as always. Hump day, Wolfpack Wednesday, all that good stuff. So yeah, a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight that I'm very, very, very excited pretty much about every single thing. So every topic. Now, I wish I could be in New York Comic Con with some of the people out there, meeting everybody and whatnot. It looks like a great time, but really excited for them, everyone who's going, and, just seeing all their content that they're coming out with throughout the week and watching those vlogs. And yeah, just really excited to see everyone so happy while I'm over here drinking myself and drinking and crying to myself
To oblivion.
So, yes.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things. I mean, Justin, did you get invited to Comic-Con? Because I know I didn't.
I wish I kind of got invited. Like, it was like, hey, man, why don't you come out as well type of thing. but a small part of me thought that maybe they were trying to get me out there so they could all jump me or something. So that was
geez,
back
that would
on
not
my
have been
mind.
good.
Maybe Steve in Thrawn's office, you know. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, yeah, I it was an invite, but it was
And
I
watch
would have
those
liked,
freak offs.
yeah.
one of those backstage conversations after one of these shows where you all get together and they're talking about it and you're just sitting there like, oh yeah, and you should come too. You know, it's next week.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I
forgot you were
faked
still
like
here.
I left.
Thought you
I was
left.
still in there. They were like, "All right, man, cool. So you're actually gonna fly out a day early, right?" They were like, "Yeah, but."
Oh, that's funny. Oh, and DLO the Collector has survived the hurricane. Thank the Lord, your collection is still intact. Because you had me nervous. I don't know if you said this on air or if it was after the show. I think it was on air, but you were like, by the way, if there is flooding or something, like this will be my last episode. I was like, oh, okay.
I said it on air, very much so.
Mhm.
That was kind of like my preemptive bye-bye just in case. But yeah.
Scary
Yeah,
stuff.
it was a wild couple of days. I mean, gosh, that storm hit like literally right after the show wrapped up that night, and it was like, man, there's a lot of money in this room.
Yeah.
Hope everything's okay. But no, thankfully, seriously speaking, thankfully, everything was okay for not just obviously the collection, but obviously the family. The house is fine. Feel very fortunate. You know, wasn't too bad as far as like damage concerned. Little minor things, nothing that couldn't be replaced. But I'd be lying if I said if I went out my door, not as many people were as fortunate as I am. So obviously I'm very sensitive to that. You know, so, you know, to those people in Florida who were affected by everything, obviously, I hope you guys get back on your feet as soon as possible. You're in my prayers, of course. And yeah, I mean, for today, I'm just grateful that I'm able to still be a collector for the sake of our conversation today. I'm happy we can still talk about figures and kind of take our time away from some of that other stuff that's on our minds outside of the hobby and just kind of hone in on the stuff that's fun and positive tonight. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to like a real fun show tonight, guys.
Same here, man. Same here. Yeah, glad. Well, yeah, hopefully everybody's okay down there. And obviously we know some people in the community too, but just everybody in general. It's never had as many hurricanes in one day, or not hurricanes, tornadoes in Florida, like just like 120 or something spawning. So it's just crazy. Crazy stuff. All right, let's see who is in the chat with us tonight. We got 41 to start the show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my friends' channels, and find them on Instagram as well. We got channel member Adric23. Hello, fellow collectors. Too sweet to you for being first in the comments. Good to see you. We got Luke Christian. Happy Wednesday. Neil Arific, another channel member. Greeting Wolfpackers. I always like that, you know, because the Packers are 4-2. Justin, you're not a Cowboys fan, are you?
Not anymore.
Fair enough.
Not after Jerry Jones threatened to fire the local
Come on,
radio
that
show
was
here.
ridiculous. I'm gonna do these shows every week, but if you ask me something I don't like, I'm gonna give you the business. Come on.
Yeah, that's been the talk, man. Local, I mean, it's wild, man. But yeah, they look terrible. I mean,
He's
I'm a
getting out
fan,
of
but
control.
like,
He's getting
yeah.
out of control, man.
yeah. Luckily, I got the Longhorns. They're playing great. They got a big game this weekend, so that'll be fun.
Dude, the
Weird thing is-
Longhorns, dude, not just because of his name, but I like Manning better than Ewers or whatever his name is. He looked pretty.
Yeah, we got like two guys that would start for.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Manning would start for like 95% of everybody else. So it's pretty cool to have
Yep.
him taking over.
The future.
The man, baby. Let's go, Giants.
Well, even though your Cowboys
Yeah.
are 3-3, they're still in the thick of it. But geez, getting
They're
blown
in the
out
thick
at
of it.
home every single week is
They just
a
don't.
little old, I'm
they
sure.
they don't look good, man. They don't look good.
It's a
At all.
bold strategy. We'll see how it plays out there. All right, we got Nomar in the house. What's up, Wolfpack? Quick pick and choose: Brick, Wanda, or Black Widow.
Ooh, okay. This is supposed to be
He
quick.
says quick.
Wanda, but Brick Widow. Huh. But Black Widow for the artisan. But Wanda for like everything else. I know
Okay.
that sounds weird, but that's my quick answer without explanation.
D-Lo, Batman or Ghostbusters?
It's tough. I mean, can I like? Is it like Batman Forever against Ghostbusters
I
and
think just in
Ghostbusters?
general.
You know. But I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's anything outside of like, if it's Keaton, Bale, or Affleck, Batman all day.
All right, he says Jedi, Batman or Joker. That's tough. Two of my well, my favorite superhero versus one of my favorite villains, but I got to go Batman on this one because no matter what, just love the Bat. And then
What if it's
Justin,
Clooney though?
Well, if it's Clooney, yeah, of course not.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's Clooney versus like Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson.
What if,
well, yeah,
what if it's
hands
Clooney versus Jared Leto?
Oh, that's a good one.
Jeez, Jared Leto. I
Leto.
guess, but that's
Okay.
oh, that's off-putting.
Gosh,
Justin,
so bad.
Harry Potter or horror?
I'm gonna go horror. Just too much within that IP. So yeah, horror all day.
Very nice.
Nice.
Look at this guy. We got Chadwick Albert
Ooh,
Gavigan
Mr.
in
Chad.
the house. What's going on? This is actually a real life friend of mine. So thanks for joining us tonight. Hopefully you enjoy the show and stick around a little bit. Have a drink with us. Cheers. And too sweet to Chadwick. We got Brad Cormack, another channel member. Good evening, Wolfpack. Too sweet. Doc Bat, always good to have you here. Derek, another channel member. Hello, good evening. Got a notice from Sideshow today. Artisan Joker Imposter is arriving early by the end of this month. Congrats on that. Was definitely one I was contemplating, but decided not to pull the trigger on it. Just too much stuff coming. I'm actually really hyped, and I don't know if I'm in the minority or not, but I'm really hyped about Sculpted Joker, Dark Knight Joker. Just Artisan looks amazing too. So in general, that figure, but Sculpted usually gets slept on, but I'm really looking forward to that one. Anybody else here picking up that Joker, either Imposter or Dark Knight?
Probably Dark Knight.
Yes.
For me.
What you
Knight.
getting, Justin? Dark Knight?
I got the sculpted on PO, but I'm waitlisted on Artisan. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the Artisan comes out looking incredible. That's a character that I'll pay like a premium to get. So yeah, I mean, I'm waiting on Bane. Like Dark Knight trilogy this year, it was a great time to kind of get into it because I'm getting all those figures like almost like 2.0s in a way. You know, Catwoman, Bane, now Joker. So,
well, what are you gonna do if because you have Sculpted locked down? What if you're already like it's shipping and then all of a sudden you get a wait list? Are you just gonna sell that one eventually then, or keep both?
I think I would, man. I would just have to see. Like the Artisan would really have to like blow me away to go up that much, like on the secondhand market. So it's pretty much wait list or bust for me because I think the Sculpted's going to look great too.
Mhm.
And like you talked about, man, with so many things coming out, as much as I'd love to get Artisan on everything, like I mean that is a character I'd love to have it. But I'll be okay with either one. But I'm going to keep my eye on the price and see what I'm interested to see what the first Hot Toys Artisan even looks like, man. That's
right.
That's going to be interesting to see. Like, you know, the Imposter looks great, so I'm hoping that we get the same type of quality for the Dark Knight.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I'm on the wait list too for that, just to see what happens. But I'll be more than happy with Sculpted. And then DLO, you're going for Artisan as well. Is it Artisan or bust?
Artisan or bust, man. Well, I mean, I think for Joker, I really like that Sculpted one too. I just don't think that's like a bad backup option if that doesn't happen for me because I too am on the wait list as well, just like Justin is. So, but yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, I'm really hyped up with the release of Bane. I'm really back on this Dark Knight kind of hype train over here and just really keeping my options open.
How do you I was just watching, just a quick side note. I was watching D Knight's video and he's going through the instructions on Bane, and basically any type of dynamic pose, it says will basically ruin the figure. So you can't have him in this pose. You can do it for pictures and stuff, but how do you feel about basically not being able to have him in like an arm bend pose? I mean, is it kind of just like, well, it's like with Spider-Man figures or I'm trying to think like any other like leather figure where, yeah, it's the same thing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I saw that video too, and I was kind of like, I saw that part, so I was like, really?
They may.
Well,
Said will.
yeah. So I mean, that's kind of a bummer, right? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's like someone parking a Corvette in your driveway and saying you can't drive it. Like it feels like, then why?
You can take it out of the driveway, but you gotta hurry and put it back.
Yeah,
You know?
you can only take it around the block,
Yeah,
but
loop it around.
like no more than that. You're not going to the highway with that thing or something like that. Like it. So I mean, yeah, it's I got to see it more for myself. I think it's a more of, I mean, yes, it's new. It's a newer body. It's going to, you know, it could potentially like do it for sure. I mean, and I think Hot Toys is more of like covering their butts as opposed to more of like, you know, like it will most definitely, no matter under any circumstances, we made it that fragile. It will 100% have. I think they're just trying to cover their butts with that there.
Sure.
Lack of like replacements and all that kind of nonsense there. But I'm going to be gentle with it at first. And then as I get more comfortable, I'm going to be a little bit more daring. But that body looks so good. Even if I really, really didn't have to do it, will I just be disappointed? Absolutely. But I mean, that figure just oozes presence to such a degree that it's just like, I suppose I can live with it if it really comes down to it. It's that sensitive as they make it out to be. But I would be lying if I wasn't disappointed because it looks like a beast.
Because that was probably one of my poses I was going to put him in. But, you know, at the very least, let's just say you do have that and then you keep him in that pose and it rips or something. At least you got the coat, right? So, I mean, that's the one nice thing about the figure. Like, there's at least something to cover it up if down the road it deteriorates a little bit. Because it does cover up pretty much all of that area.
Right.
And that's a shame, too, because, like, I also want him with the coat on and the collar popped up. But how can you not pose him with the muscles, you know, out and about?
Sure.
So, Justin, I'm assuming you're getting that figure too. You all in on the Dark Knight line?
Yeah, I am. That's like one of the things I really wanted to collect this year, like prioritized. So yeah, I'm all in. That's been like one of my most anticipated of the year. I think it's like it's already looking. I mean, I want to see it for myself, but just based on what I see, man, definitely contender for figure of the year in my opinion. I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that about D Knight's review, so that's very interesting. I wanted to have the sculpt where he's like trying to put the mask on after Batman knocks it. I was like, but now I can't do that. No, but I that is a bummer though, man. But because I remember when I was unboxing the Avatar, and I'll be quick because I know you said be quick about it. But when I was talking about the Avatar figure, I was like, man, it'd be cool if this was like all silicone or for like seamless body or whatever. And I had a few people tell me like, hey man, you probably don't want that because if you're going to pose that, it's going to. So I do see like you're sacrificing one or the other. You know what I mean? So like, I think DLO kind of said it best. Like it won't bother me as much if it looks that great on the shelf because I don't really pose my figures a lot. But that look like you were talking about, that's an iconic look in the movie that I kind of wanted to do. So.
But also, he also has like the kind of arms out just a little bit too, which is probably going to be. But the funny thing is, in the picture, he really wasn't doing much. I don't know if it's just a reference picture, or if they were saying like, you know, if he does anything, he's going to bust. So I don't know. But
well, he was beating the shit out of Batman with that base. Did you see that picture in the blogger photos? He had like a part of that base, and he's like,
it's just hammering.
I was like, that wasn't in the movie.
By the end of the show, though, we gotta talk Brick into this Dark Knight line because I don't want him to miss out. And I mean, obviously there's gonna be 4.0s because it's freaking DC, but still, I don't want him to miss out here. So
I do have the Imposter Joker up for pre-order. I got the early access, whatever. Like, hey, even though it's bullshit because I know people in California that already got it, so early access my ass. But you know. Yeah, so but I got that, but I think I'm keeping my payments the same for November, December. I don't know if I'm going to keep it 100%. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, this is different, this is cool, I don't want to miss out, and then 20 things were announced like the day after. So we'll see if I keep it or not, where I'm at in December, November, December with money and Christmas and new baby on the way and you know all that other figures when they so we'll see. But the Artisan Joker, I do have, I'm on the wait list for as well, and I'm kind of with DLO. You know, kind of Artisan or bust for me. I do think the sculpted looks great, but there's just something about the name Artisan that I'm weak. So,
which is crazy because none of us have one in hand to really be this crazy about it. But
I know.
I feel you though. I feel
They're
you.
Yeah.
I must be in the minority because I just thought sculpted looked better, at least from the proto pictures. I mean, obviously Imposter looks great, so I think they've done enough to make it look amazing. But I don't know. Just,
and if I never get that waitlisted, like converted, I might eventually, maybe early next year, you know, by March or something, get the sculpted Joker. Like when I'm in the mood for Dark Knight. Right now, I'm just. Bane looks amazing, almost got me in the mood, but I have to wait until this year ends and see where I'm at in March before I start getting other stuff.
Sure.
And you got that Hathaway Catwoman on PO, I'm assuming, Bruce, right? That's coming soon?
No.
Oh, man. These guys made a bet last week, Justin, that I would get it and then sell it within 6 months.
We did. That was good.
So now I cannot buy it.
Because you know you.
Yeah,
could
are you
sell
gonna
it.
wait? Are you ever gonna get it, Graham? Or are you just gonna kind of wait to see what the in-art one looks like?
I
Like, are you
don't
even
know,
interested
man.
in that character? Or?
It's really a problematic figure. Like, I don't know. It's not only just the pleather, like, because we talked about with Bane, like, I can live with some of the limitations and whatnot, and basically it's a statue. But I also just don't see the likeness there. And these guys, I think, said it last week too. What if she's an artisan like this year, like this in 2025? Like, then they announce her as an artisan figure, some shit like that. Like, it'd be wild, but at the same time, I could definitely see.
Yeah.
And then in-art teased her too. So I mean, that's obviously an option. I think they'll do a better job than what Hot Toys did on that figure. It's just weird how you can never really tell how Hot Toys is thinking or working. Like, we're gonna do a 2.0, but it's almost in ways not gonna be as good as the 1.0, and we don't really give a shit. And it's, you know, just kind of throwing it out there. I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Even 89 Batman, like, maybe some things weren't as good as the DX9. However, all of us agree that have it here in hand. It's amazing. So I mean, that's
I saw
pretty cool
Delo's
figure,
picture
too.
today of it, man. I'm like, damn it. I think I need it.
You don't have it, Justin?
No, I'll
Good
be
figure, man.
transparent as I canceled my pre-order on it because I wasn't impressed with the
Okay.
whatever that finish was on that suit, man. I didn't like it at all. But now that I've seen like people in hand photos of it, it doesn't really bother me that much at all. So I'm really like, I mean, I know I could go out and get it still for like, you know, retail, but
It's available.
yeah. But
Or
the
if you
more I
have the
see of it, the
patience-
more I think it's great.
If you have the patience, just get the Batman Returns.
Yeah, I
That's
think
where my
it.
head's at. The returns one I'm really interested in. Yeah.
Could be hard to mess that one up there, but yeah, I got mine today. Just like, it's an absolute beast. I mean, talking specific about the deluxe, like that gargoyle statue stand. Like, I'm never one of those guys that goes crazy about those. I'm a very much a minimalist when it comes to like those things that they don't really do much for me. But when I got that one in today and I put it, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Does this whole package really like build up the value of this figure? Because putting that with that, I mean, if you guys haven't seen my picture, I put it up on IG and Facebook today, but dude, the right cape, the right lighting with that whole setup, that is a beast of a figure. So
Now, do all of y'all have it just the stock figure right now, and y'all are going to upgrade over time, or did y'all already make some adjustments to y'all's with like
I have
cape and whatnot?
Deal and I both have custom capes,
Yeah,
Oh,
I just
okay.
have stock.
yeah,
and then Delo pre-ordered the 1/6 kit faceplate. I've
Mhm.
held off so far. It's $49 for a faceplate, so it's a little pricey, but
yeah.
I'll probably wind up getting it just because it is 89 Keaton Batman, and that's obviously one of my favorite characters. I got to go all in for it. So
But I will
I'm
say,
not really
first
happy about it.
impressions of those faceplates, though, like just to touch on that real quickly here, like the standard like flat face one, like that one really doesn't look good. I'll be 100%. So I'm glad I'm getting that one from Kit. But the one with the bloody face on it there,
Yeah, that one's
that's
good.
the best
the one I'm
looking
rocking.
Keaton plate out of this one and the DX from before
Mhm.
as well. Like that one they nailed. So I just think like they just, I don't know. I don't know how you forget how to make Keaton when you just made the perfect one, you know, like with the Facebook. But I don't know. I think it's very hit or miss. But I think if you like the bloody face one, like you're gonna be set. That's beautiful. Like it's really, really good. But yeah, I had some points with Kit. So like honestly, I didn't pay much for it. To be honest, I think I paid like $10 out of pocket with the difference of it there.
Oh.
But
I did pick up the Drifter though, and I did break down and I used Riley Reviews' code, and I got the helmet, the bike helmet for $24. That
there
wasn't
you
as
go.
bad. So
There you go.
Sneaker talked me into it. You know, he's like, you can't miss out on the helmet. You're never gonna get this again. Blah blah blah. I was like, damn it. So yeah, that should be shipping this month. So that'll be nice too to have like another figure in the Drifter. That was a pretty cool look. So
Yeah.
excited for that too. All right, let's keep moving because we got a lot to talk about. We got Hayden Collects in the house. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. SG Collectibles. Good evening, Giovan. Happy Wolfpack Wednesday. Got my Baylan on rush order from Toys Buying Agent, but absolutely not arriving fast enough. Always been a must, so got to have him ASAP. Toys Buying Agent is a solid place to go if you cannot wait for your figures. They've never done me wrong, so yeah, go check them out too. We got Tighter FL. What's up, everyone? Is there about to be an avalanche of Ahsoka figure releases? Ooh, possibly. Universal Key, hello there. Collection Obsession, too sweet to you. OG Star Wars fan when it was just Star Wars. OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. I want to get your name exactly right. Too sweet, because I don't like it when people don't get mine right. Christian Crosshair Cooper, what's up, guys? What's going on, man? Hope you're safe and well. Good to see you here each and every week. We got Darth Tamaris in the house. Hello, hello. We got Valkyrie Magnus. Always good to see you in the chat. Let's go. Let's see here. Queso Blanco, thank you for being a channel member. Thank you for always joining us as well. It's good to see the crew each and every week. Let's see. We got one Adam 12. Hello, Wolfpack. The early release of Baylon, too sweet. My first payment wasn't even scheduled for another month. Yeah, that's crazy. We're going to talk about that. How this guy has come out before like payments basically were even being taken out from Sideshow and stuff. Luis, good to see you. Hello, hello. Jazzy, good evening to you, my friend. Stacy is here as well. Good to have you. What's up, Jose? Happy Wednesday to you. I like Sneaker's replacement. I think he'll do just fine. We got Kyle Goodwin in the house. Up, fellas. We got the movie canon. Now I know what to do if I ever see Justin in person.
I think he's talking about
big old bear hug.
Yeah, beating you up and robbing you.
We got J Mac. Good evening, guys. Let's see here. Clinton Martin is in the house. Thank you for joining us each and every week. Oh, he's saying bear down. Oh boy, we'll see. We'll see. But hey, gotta admit, they're playing well. We got Lil Sweetness. Hello, hello. D Dot. Sup, everyone. Iron Dude. Battle of the Pros. Who do we got? We got Justin tonight. Let's see. Wait, Justin is a Dallas fan. He sure is. Born and raised. We got Big Rib.
Ever since Little Giants came out, baby.
Oh, I always root for the villain. Batman Collectibles. How you figure your Longhorns come to Nashville next week to face my Vanderbilt Commanders? Be scared.
Commodores.
They had a big win over
Commodore,
Alabama.
sorry.
Man. Gotta
Thank
be
you
ready.
for that spell check. Darth Kibbles, haven't seen this guy in a little bit. Good to see you. Thank you for being a channel member. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good evening. Wanted to swing by and say thanks for a great show each and every week. I'll be catching the replay. Well, I appreciate that. And we got the Ben Thomas show. What's up, my friend? Thank you for being here. And Striker 47 is joining us tonight. We got 71 in the house so far, so hit that like button. And the movie canon with a $4.99 super chat. So is this Venom announcement the figure Hot Toys is hoping will order over Jazz Inc Catwoman? Or is there another dropping tonight? Well, thank you so much for the super chat and for the question, because it's actually a really good question. And it's definitely one I want to answer. But first, I want to give you a little thank you.
Well, what a nice surprise. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Hey, I see you over there. You honor me with your gesture.
I guess we know who your favorite Wolfpack member is.
Cheers, and thank you so much.
All right, guys. In all like likeliness, is Hot Toys going to announce something tonight to combat the Jazz Inc Catwoman, or do you think they don't care? This doesn't affect them. This isn't something they're interested in. Really quickly, let's go around the horn.
I think if not tonight, tomorrow, but I think it's too late tomorrow. So yeah, I'll say tonight. Whether it's Catwoman or the T-1000, I don't know, but it's going to be something.
Alien?
Alien.
Batman and Robin?
Hey.
Maybe. Predator. T-800 clean.
Hey,
Hey, that's a lot. That's a lot of
I'm just saying, something's going to happen. We got a lot of figures to officially announce yet, so come on now.
Graham, I'll be
Better
quick
time
with
than
mine.
tonight.
You're gonna want to
I'm
keep.
sorry,
that
was I
shirt
too
going
slow?
tonight. You never know what you're gonna get on a Wednesday night, baby. We could get a drop. I mean, who knows, man? I'm thinking 11:15 p.m. Central Time tonight.
All right. So that's a yes for how you figure. All right. How about you, DLO?
Yeah, I think something's going to happen. What it's going to be, I think it's going to be something we're not thinking about, but something that would definitely knock everybody's socks off. I feel like it's a more of a universal one. Like Aliens is good calls, stuff like that there, but like I feel like Hot Toys knows this is a Star Wars community. It's going to be a Star Wars base announcement. If it happens, I'm going to go out of left field and say something the way I was thinking about how when we got, I forgot what figure. I think it was when Inart was doing Dune, and I think we got Han Solo from Return of the Jedi. If I'm not mistaken, very much right after that. It's gonna be something wacky, like a Princess Leia artisan or something like that. You know,
Oh no,
like New Hope Princess Leia.
slave.
I'm not just saying this like to joke around. I was dead serious when you started saying Star Wars. That's what I was thinking too, D-Lo. Like for real. If that happens tonight, man,
Rooted
that would be sick.
bun ears artisan New Hope Leia. Something wacky like that.
Something wacky.
Well, only time will tell. We'll see. We'll see. Darth Tamara says, Graham, you've ordered Jackson capes before? I ordered a wire cape for Vader. Yes. Few Batman capes, Vader cape. I think my BVS cape was Unreal. And I'm trying to think if there's any other capes, but mostly Batman capes. And then, yeah, the one Vader, which is actually this wired one down here. Yeah, it does good work. Look at this. We got Collector Joey checking in from New York City. You know, he can check in and say hi, and I appreciate that. But we haven't heard from our other Wolfpack member, you know, and he's just out there living it up and forgetting about his real friends and whatever. It's whatever. You know, I mean,
How wooed.
each and every Sunday he's telling how you figure not even to show up on his streams, and tonight he doesn't show up on ours. So,
Damn.
but it's good to have a true friend like Collector Joey in the house.
Lay it on.
Dude, he's been seeing dogs in New York City with Crocs on, like you know,
Dogs?
like yeah. Collector Joey's been posting
Oh,
pictures.
oh
in the
yeah, I
story.
saw that story.
My day,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
seeing
Pavement too
some
rough
cool
on their
stuff.
little ponds.
He's not even at Comic-Con yet, and he's seeing dogs dressed up as humans. I mean,
Joey, if
I
you're
just
still
like
here,
how Joey hasn't let
put
New York City
Cowboys
change, you know what I mean?
paraphernalia on in that city.
Yeah.
I beg you, for your own safety.
Him and I were talking a little bit about that, and he's a broken man. I don't
I'm a
see
broken
him
man
wearing
too.
cowboy stuff over there.
might
I
turn
lost
into a
by
Giants
certain
fan.
points in my fantasy because Dak Prescott was my quarterback. It's my quarterback, man.
I had Rico Dowdle, so my team's not very good this year. I think right now is the
My
best
number one
time to
running
wear
back.
your team gear, though. When you're struggling, man, that's when you do the hat, the
Couldn't
jersey, the whole
even
thing.
get
How
me
about
garbage time
how
points.
about the highest scorer in a league, but in 8th place? How the fuck?
Mm,
Dude, y'all
Some
need to do what
fancy
my
bad
league
luck.
does.
Crazy.
The whoever has the highest points for out of the remaining teams gets the final playoff spot.
There you go. That'd be good.
mm. Wish my league was like that.
That'd be good.
All right, I think I'm in second place in all my leagues, so I got nothing to complain about.
Oh, humble brag, humble brag.
We got Tristan. Got the Drifter helmet, and Deadpool is shipping tomorrow. Baylon released. Good times. That's awesome, man. We got Brandon in the house as well. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. He told me I should start a Facebook group. I said I'm not very good at keeping up with that stuff, and I said we have a Discord. You ever seen it? It's dead. So I don't know. Like, and like it sounds fun, but everybody's got their own group too. So I just feel like it's just one more. But we'll see. We'll see. I appreciate him though. He did say he'd be willing to help out with it. So
We all want to be part of the
people.
Night's Watch. So if you can make a Facebook group.
There you go. The Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Oh, Jazzy's hoping for Romulus Alien. That'd be cool too. Is that enough though? Is that enough? To combat Batman Returns Catwoman.
It'd be enough for me.
I think in order for people to not order from Jazz Inc. is they have to announce a Catwoman. It doesn't matter what they announce tonight. people are still going to order that Catwoman. They want a Catwoman.
Sure. I
So
don't know. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. But I think if Jedi starts a Facebook group, we all leave Steve's for Jedi's. That means a lot. I do appreciate that. That I know that comes from the heart. So thank you, Nomar. Appreciate that. Let's see here.
Steve,
and
I hope
then
you catch replay.
we do have Kirby Kai 89 Joker 2.0 would be a mic drop. Dude, that would be insane.
There you go.
That really
would break
would.
the internet.
Mm.
Especially because I'm pessimistic about that thing ever seeing the light of day. I just don't see them able to pull that off. More so because of Jack Nicholson. But man, I would be for it. I mean, I know I've spewed some things in the past about 2.0s, but that would be one that I would be excited about because that figure is very old. And can you imagine how good it looks now? What they could do to update that head sculpt as well? Because it could be updated and look even better. So
yeah, I think any villain from Keaton, I mean Catwoman, Penguin, Joker, any of those three would take the cake.
Yeah. And that's also what I've heard, Brandon, is that he's just retired. He's just done. He doesn't care about that shit anymore. So it's not important to him, and he just doesn't want to do it. So that's why I don't think it's coming. But you never know. And then we
It's
do.
so
have Eric
weird to me
in the
because it's
house.
such easy money. You're like, oh yeah, sure, thanks.
But he's like what 90, 88, 90. I mean,
He's
yeah,
up there for sure.
which sucks.
Oh.
It's sad.
What was his last movie? With was it The Departed? Was that his last movie?
That's
I
one
thought,
of them.
I thought he played on that that other, I think it was a Netflix gangster movie with the dude that played in Home Alone. Didn't he play in that too? With
That's
Al
Robert De
Pacino?
Niro.
Joe
That's the
Pesci?
Irishman.
Daniel
Or
Stern.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, it was Robert De Niro. Yeah. Okay.
No.
I said Al Pacino. My bad. Robert De Niro. It's a good movie.
But I'd be for it, man.
I haven't seen it. 3 hours long. Fell asleep every time I tried.
Every motherfucking time. All right.
Oh, he played
Well,
in that family movie too, where like he's what was it, like his daughter? They all move in and they're all like hitmen.
That's not as good as it gets, is it?
No, I forgot what it's called.
That's
But I
way
think-
before. Like I think
They're a
the last one I
hitman.
can think
He's a hitman.
is
I gotta look it up now.
Departed was the last one I can remember for his movie set, but that was a damn good movie too.
Christian wants
Something's
to
gotta
know
give.
if anyone on the panel is getting in-art Aragorn.
I will have it apparently maybe this week, next week. Depends what kid says. I've got the sculpted on pre-order, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Let's get into the goodness. We got Baylan from the Ahsoka series. Figure was announced 6 months ago. We still have Clone Wars Darth Sidious, which is closing in on like a year and 9 months being on pre-order, but for some reason Baylan got pushed up when others are getting pushed back. I want to start with, before we kind of talk about the figure itself, what you like, maybe what you don't like, what you're excited for. Is this just a one-off that, again, it just falls into the category like Hot Toys does Hot Toys things and we'll never be able to just understand it? Is there a reason that you guys can think of, DLO, maybe you, because you've been in the game the longest, is there a reason we can think of that this figure is 6 months from announcement to release and it's just here?
Yeah, I mean, this one, obviously was a head scratcher when we all saw this one, right? I mean, it was definitely like, wait a minute. Like, I thought we all had like another 6 to 8 months to like minimum before we got to work, plus another maybe month or two before it ships from China or something. And yeah, this one feels weird. But once the emotion kind of wears off here, I've got a couple theories on this here. It can be a few things here. One, this could be a one-off, right? That's just basically they push this one up here. And that could be to drive sales of the line. Maybe the line of the other lines aside of a few characters are doing well. Maybe they want to pick up some of the pre-orders just to build some urgency back up. Who knows? That's one theory. Theory number two is there's other things that were in production ahead of this here that need more time. in the kitchen, so they're moving things up to compensate for that gap in delivery schedule. Because this time of year is always so hectic for us as collectors with Hot Toys and how they just operate. Like there's going to be a bombardment of either stuff that we've been waiting for a while, or stuff that potentially will be announced that we don't even know about yet. It just seems like this is like always the MO. Fourth quarter is always big for a lot of these companies over here, and Hot Toys is no exception to that there. So, yeah, my first theory is I think this is going to be one that they push forward to kind of drive sales of the Ahsoka line. I think possibly it is not doing the numbers they would hope for it to be, because you have to look at it from like Star Wars wise, outside of like what they touch with the prequel series. There's not much necessarily on the horizon Star Wars wise that they can make, right? Per se, specifically that's current. Not necessarily going back to the movies, the prequels, the Clone Wars, etc. Not necessarily going there, but you know, this was probably the most popular thing Disney put out for Star Wars, right? Outside of Andor, which got no love at all for season 1. Obviously, the Acolyte, we all know how that happened. They're not going to touch that. They know that's a waste of money. So they might be trying to push more units of Ahsoka line stuff specifically. I think putting Baylan there, which is ironic because he was one of the last ones to be announced when we were wondering like if he would even be made or not. Like, remember we were debating that after his passing. Like, I don't know if the estate will let him do it. And then they dropped it, and it was like, okay, wow, we're going to get it. We're going to get this line. But for him to be the second one out the gate, Thrawn included, also for a later edition, Ahsoka, Sabine, Wren, everything else that was announced before, they haven't been seen at all, and these guys come out first. It's weird, but if I can give you guys some kind of like peace of mind here, I think that this is going to be obviously available to the folks already now are available there. But I think over here we're not going to get it this year. I don't feel like this is going to be something the Sideshow is going to say, "Oh, it's in our stores now." So. Yeah, take it for what you will. Either way, I think for me personally, my opinion is I think this is a one-off. I think this is a push-up to kind of drive sales for other things. But don't expect to get this in your hands this year, at least here in the States, I can say. I can't speak for obviously where it's already released at. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I think this is a one-off. I don't think you're going to start seeing everybody being released and announced immediately right after. I don't think it's going to go that way.
Oh, that's a good point. Good way of thinking about it, too, especially like the fact that he is released now, but it doesn't necessarily mean Sideshow is going to get him anytime soon. We've seen Sideshow going 4 or 5 months for some figures, and the fact that this is like unexpectedly early could be their window could stay the same, like January to something, January to June, I think, of next year. But Darth Mars says, I think they're afraid people are going to pull out. It's been a year and maybe people are canceling due to other announcements. I almost pre-ordered him and Shin. To be honest, I'm glad I didn't. RIP to Ray, though. Yeah, I mean, I know from watching EvilSneaker's show, like seeing How You Figure and him talking about Ahsoka, and it's not just last weekend, but in general, like super hyped about the line. But I don't know, is that the majority of collectors out there? Is that just Star Wars fans, or is it even like a minority in Star Wars fans? Like, Justin, have you gotten a feel of like how hyped this line's gonna be kind of in the community? Because like, I guess I've thought like people are still pretty stoked about it and they're kind of all in. Like, this is the best line since Mando season 2 or something like that. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think this line is still gonna hit big?
I don't know, man. Darth Mars brings up a great point there about, I think that when this was announced, we were all hyped on it because, again, there wasn't a lot of Star Wars IP to make stuff on. They were kind of going back to the well with 2.0s. They were going back to the well with, that Dark Side event got everybody super hyped. I think it's a mixture of a few things. I mean, one side of me thinks that it's just a random thing Hot Toys did, that we don't need to read too much into it. The other half of me is thinking, yeah, by the time that this is actually coming out now, they've announced A, B, C, and D from maybe the OT, or maybe they announced something from the prequels, and then maybe they announced something that's in the pipeline. Maybe they're already thinking ahead to a lot of these Star Wars movies that are coming out. We're about due to start seeing some more Star Wars movies return to theaters and stuff. So I think for the most part, I still think there's hype around the line. I don't know if Baylan is that character for a lot of people, just because, again, if you didn't watch the show, you're not familiar with this character at all. So even though I'm hyped for him, and plus I'm hyped because it's Ray Stevenson's performance, he sadly has passed away. So I feel like this is in a way like a really important piece to have in my collection. But I think a lot of people are more excited for the Sabines, the Heras, the Ahsokas, just because that kind of crosses over a bunch of different Star Wars properties. The thing that I'm thinking it could be is maybe they are close to announcing who's going to be playing Baylan Skoll in Ahsoka season 2. And maybe they want to get this out before the new actor is cast as this, because I'm assuming that show is about to start ramping up production, I would think, to start filming for season 2. So that's kind of where my head's at. DLO brings up a lot of good points too, man. I agree with everything he said as well. But in terms to answer your question, I think the hype is still there, Graham. I just think that, like we've talked about, and like what Darth Tamar's talked about, man, with everything we are getting spoiled from not only Hot Toys, because they do have the Star Wars IP, but just everything that we're getting thrown at us. I do think the longer this line sits, because it's such a deep line, that inevitably is going to cause where it's like, well, I really don't need a Baylan. I mean, I wanted a Baylan, but now I can get an Artisan Leia or an Artisan Luke Skywalker. Again, I'm just projecting what might be announced by the time we get to Christmas. So I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, man, but I'm still hyped for it. I think there's still some hype for this line, but I do think they need to capitalize on it now before we start getting more Star Wars stuff. You know, we got that show in December, Skeleton Crew, but other than that, man, it's been kind of a quiet year for shows and movies, and they've still thrown a lot at us. You know, we're getting a lot of stuff that everybody's been wanting for years, like Revenant, Star Killer, all this stuff, dude. So it could be just a random thing. Half of me thinks that, half of me thinks it's a few of those things that I mentioned and what DLO mentioned. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, just go back to this here. Somebody, let's see here. Nomar said, would it make sense for them to have been working on Baylan from September but announced him in March while already being months into production? I mean, it's always a possibility. I mean, some figures they definitely work on beforehand, like the lady pools and stuff like that. Like, there's definitely times when they do it. I just don't know why they would pick this one, but yeah, maybe there's just something we're not very aware about that's going on, but I don't know.
Now, I do have a question though for everybody here. Do you think this move will backfire on Hot Toys, seeing as how everybody's going to be crunching come holiday season? A couple of things, people are already getting emails about things coming in early. Like, let's say this thing does wind up on our shores this year. Do you think people back out now because they weren't expecting this for another 6 to 8 months?
I think it's kind of smart. I'm getting it out ahead of time.
Yep.
The good thing is you can still keep your payment plan though, right? I mean, you can still so I don't know if they'll be forced to get out of it just because Sideshow's like, hey, you have a chance to get it early, but
yeah. And DLO brought up a great point that I think we need to just spend a little bit of time on. Everybody in the chat that's listening, DLO brought up a great point about we might not get this for a while. So I just know I just got my Attack of the Clones Anakin, and I ordered that through Underground, had that PO'd, and I just got it. And again, that's not on Ray. Like, he just got it from Sideshow, you know, probably. So in Catwoman, I know Graham actually got his, but I know a lot of people waited 4 or 5 months for C-3PO. I waited 4 or 5 months for Catwoman. So that point that DLO made is very, like, before you cancel it thinking like, oh, I got too many things coming out, maybe just wait and see, because I do think DLO might be onto something that we might not see this till the new year. You know, you just never know. It could go like that.
Yeah, for sure. DLO, did you secure C-3PO?
Yeah, I waited forever and I got him.
Okay.
I just got Anakin from episode 2 today. I've been waiting forever. And like Baylan today, I mean, it comes out. I mean, come on, man. Like it's nerve-wracking right now, to be honest with you, because you're seeing, like, first of all, some people are getting stuff like Deadpool's is arriving, Lady Deadpool. Like, I mean, granted, I know these had shorter windows and these were kind of somewhat expected here, but in a way you kind of expect them almost to be delayed, because it almost feels like impossible that they're going to meet that time frame. And yet here we are and people are getting those emails, but I feel like it's almost it's almost kind of like feeding us again, you know, kind of in a sense of like where, okay, we got to keep them kind of, you know, keep them on. I hate to say it like this, but I mean, keep it on, sucking on the nipple. Okay, you, gotta, you know, just kind of.
I thought you were gonna say keep them on their toes, but then you said
no,
keep 'em on.
no.
It's saying
I mean,
keep it on, but sucking on nipples.
We don't even have toes at this point. If you're collecting 1/6 figures, you don't even have toes at this point. You're
Somebody
not
clip that, please.
But I mean, literally, no. I feel like they got to keep you saturated with a little bit of something to keep you coming back, and not give a second thought to like, hey, maybe I should wait. Like, no, buy now, please, by all means, buy it now. So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like it. If I'm wrong about it, and they're gonna announce everything and they're gonna drop everything from Ahsoka, FML, right? That's not in the game plan for a lot of us over here. And a lot of us who are into the series, I myself, me and Steve, we're probably on the panel, probably the most excited about this line just because of, you know, what it does for Star Wars collecting in total. But if it does come out sooner rather than later, that's going to be super hard. And obviously that's going to make it super challenging for a lot of people, myself included. Even with the best of plans, like it's going to be tough because I mean, there's other stuff outside of hobby you always got to take care of as well too. Feeding is something I'm quite big fan of, for example. So now, having said all that, I want to believe that it's going to be something to kind of what I've already said before. Like I think this is going to be one to kind of get the wheels moving, getting people off their butts, pre-ordering more. None of these figures are waitlisted, as far as I know. As far as other retailers as well, too, you can easily find any of these over here. And I don't think they necessarily want to. Hey, Breda, welcome to the show. But I don't think anybody necessarily wants a repeat of how kind of like the Mandalorian figures and stock. So great time for you to show up, Breda. I know everybody doesn't want that where it's just like everybody's sitting on stock of Mando stuff they can't get rid of, right? So I think they want to get ahead of this over here and make sure that this is a good, profitable line for them that can get in, get out. So I think sending him out first, which was one of the later releases, to do that makes a lot of sense. To say like, well, hey, you don't know what we're gonna drop in this line because we may have announced him one of the the last ones, but so far we've delivered Thrawn. You've got the zombie Death Trooper, right? Mm-hmm. Now Baylan, right? So it's like it's all about keeping your toes, man. Keeping your toes and making sure if you're gonna get in on this line, they want you to pre-order those and they want to drive those numbers up. So, and I think that's really what it's going to come down to.
And I think Marok and Enoch and Night Trooper, and somebody even said that in the comments. I think Clinton said it. Like I've seen where Night Trooper and Mando Super Commando, like they've had the boxing preferences on Sideshow. I saw that as well, Clinton. So that's interesting to me as well. And oddly enough, dude, I think those Marok and Enoch are both waitlisted on Sideshow. Again, there's other places you can pre-order it, like DLO said. But oddly enough, man, those are the ones that are like waitlisted on Sideshow, I believe. And so that's interesting to me as well. So, but yeah.
Yeah, Enoch, Death Trooper, obviously limited, but and then Merrick.
Yeah, Night Trooper's waitlisted. Yeah.
But outside of that, most are still available, which is actually surprising to me because I figured the way things have been going like hotcakes lately that most of them would be waitlisted by this point because they've been on pre-order for a while, some of them. But the other nice thing though about this line is it's kind of like the last of the $200 figures, you know, for being honest, or the $200 line. Like you look at these and we'll take the waitlist off. But you look and it almost looks like bargain bin now for what we've been kind of conditioned to pay over for these limited figures, these artisan figures. And now you look at like an Anakin with a brand new skull, like $265. Like that's a pretty damn good deal. Like okay, like Hera, you know, $265. Okay, like I don't know. It's kind of like interesting too, like that it's kind of the last of those figures that might be a decent price.
And Graham, do you think that as someone who, you know, me and you have talked about this a little bit, you know, you're getting maybe 2 or 3 pieces from this line that you know you're getting for the most part, and you might pick up one later, but you pretty much know you're getting 2 or 3. Do you think that's what a lot of collectors, how they're navigating this massive of a line, is kind of like you're navigating it? Maybe that's why as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good question for Brick too, because I know he's kind of been back and forth on the line, but just to answer that really quick, I think for anybody that's collecting more than just Star Wars, you're gonna have to pick and choose because it's really tough to go all in on a line this big when you're collecting DC and Marvel and the one-offs like the Beetlejuice, the Jack Sparrow that's coming out, and all that other cool stuff. So like for me, I gotta stick to the characters that are more prominent and then that I maybe have more of a background with. So like Ahsoka is definitely one that I'm interested in. Thrawn is already home. Hera is pre-ordered. I'm definitely like on the fence about Chopper because I want him to pair with Hera. And then that young Ahsoka, man, when she was announced, I still remember seeing her, how blown away I was. Like, that's definitely one I want. But when it comes to Shin and Baylan and like Rex, I already have Clone Wars Rex, so like I just don't need to go all in on that. So we'll see. And Sabine, I didn't really like her character, but I do understand the value of her overall, the weight of her character. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping some of these are going to be easy to find as we go down the road too. But I don't know, Brooke, what are your thoughts about the line? Like, because I know you were kind of back and forth. You liked the show a lot. I know you were really big on Shin for a little bit, but then with other stuff coming, I don't know how that figures in.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point Shin is off the table, and now when season 2 comes out, I might like her again and purchase this figure. What's up, man? Purchase this figure whenever season 2 comes out or something. But right now, I mean, I'm thinking Hera, Chopper, and maybe Sabine. I don't really need another Ahsoka. I'm fine with my Ahsoka the Gray, basically. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with her. She hasn't broke yet for me. I don't really touch her too much, and she, but she's fine. So I don't need to spend another $300+ for Ahsoka the White, even though she looks great. But it's, do I upgrade Ahsoka? And I'm probably the least Star Wars fan on this panel. Not saying I don't like it, but my thing is Marvel first, then probably one-offs, then DC, then Star Wars. So for me, I'm way more limited Star Wars. I know that's boring to a lot of people because a lot of people in this community are like Star Wars first, and I get that. But this isn't the OG trilogy. It's not the prequels. It's Ahsoka. It's Clone Wars, more so. But that's something I didn't really watch. I didn't really watch Clone Wars. I watched a little bit of Rebels, and where a lot of these characters are in. But I was excited because Steve, EvilSneaker, got me to watch Rebels before this show started. And I was like, I was kind of pumped. But it's one of those things where I didn't really like grow with, and I don't have that nostalgia factor. So it died pretty quick for me, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? So although these figures look great, I think every figure in this line is amazing. But for me, this year, again, I will say it has knocked me on my ass. And we have all of these. It's funny because Lego is actually way more expensive than Hot Toys. But, with all of these teases and announcements and everything, like, I'd rather get the T1000, T800, Xenomorph. Like, that shit is way cooler than a Chopper.
It's the new fad again. I mean, they're all kind of coming back. It's coming back in the style.
Yeah, like I would rather have that. I'd rather have Batman Returns, and if they ever do a Catwoman, the Jazz Inc Catwoman, I'd rather have that. I've got Paul Atreides from InArt. There's some InArt figures that I'm tempted to get. There's just too much more that I'd rather have than say, Baylan's released, I got to hurry up and buy him. But to others, it's different. Everyone has their taste. So.
Well,
Brick,
even for me,
what's
like,
go ahead,
sorry, even for me, I collect you got like you got all these like sub lines in these lines themselves. Like for me, I collect everything, but then I do collect Star Wars, but my main focus for Star Wars is OT. So like this is even like a sub line in that line. So yeah, it's tough for me to go all in when my main focus is OT, but my main focus is the broader spectrum of it all too. So yeah, it's tough. There's so much.
And dude, I look ahead too. And this James Gunn thing, I guarantee you, I'm gonna be all in on James Gunn and what he's doing with DC. Like, I am super excited for that. Then you got to look at, we have We have more Avengers movies coming out, Secret Wars. We have, Captain America movie coming out at the beginning of the year. We have Venom 3 coming, which we're going to be talking about Venom and what might possibly come out from that movie. And I'm a huge fan of Venom. So just too much stuff. I don't want to act like I'm a huge part of the Ahsoka stuff when I'm not. It's fun. I watched it all. It's a great show, but it's not that thing where I have to have. Will I end up with a figure or two in the future? Maybe.
Well, of course.
Now that's a nice peach right there. I might get that one.
I am really excited for that one, actually.
Yeah, she looks really, really good.
And young Ahsoka is going to be great.
Being for real, she looks awesome.
All right. Let's see here. I think OG fan is not entertained. If we got some OT stuff, man, then we could talk more about OT. But Hot Toys is they're kind of sticklers when it comes to that. They don't give us as much.
Dude, give me like we've been saying, give me Kenobi from the Phantom Menace. Give me Dark Side, a new Dark Side Anakin. Give me there's stuff that I want from Star Wars.
And that's the thing that's odd, Brick, is like when we've talked about this, Brick, I think on your show before, like why they've neglected Phantom Menace when, in my opinion, that is the most profitable in terms of like nostalgia for a lot of people our age. Like that's the prequel, like not maybe the best movie in the prequel trilogy, but that's the one that we're most nostalgic for. Yeah. And the fact that we haven't gotten much from that line, man, is kind of a head scratcher. And I'm hoping that if they get this Ahsoka line out kind of quick, maybe that is the next wave. It's like maybe some more prequel figures, maybe some more OT stuff.
Maybe Jar Jar's tonight.
Hey, here we go. You heard it here first.
That's realistic. That is realistic. He's probably one of the next in line, and it's a Star Wars figure. And
maybe they do one of those like 3 announcements in one night thing, like a Jar Jar.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And something from each line.
Clinton's got a good point, though. He says, I think most collectors are collecting the Rebels characters more than the others. And this is kind of like a dual line in that aspect as well. Like people are going to collect this because it is Rebels, and it can be your live action Rebels. So like it's gonna reach a lot of people too. So I do think this is going to be a pretty popular line. And again, I don't know if it's just Steve, but I think there is a lot of excitement for Baylan as well. But getting back to the figure, are you guys thinking this turned out just as good as what the proto showed? I mean, I don't see really much difference at all, but I mean, jump in. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you see? Kind of Facebook's being glitchy here, but how do you think he turned out?
This figure is beautiful. Like I don't see flaws with it here. This is like way better than I thought it would end up. Like you're right, and I don't see much of a difference between proto to final release either. I think it looks absolutely sick. The likeness is clearly there. Ray Stevenson is just popping there. This is one of their best head sculpts they've done. I mean, I feel like we say that almost every time like we talk about a new figure, but this is genuinely like a really, really strong one. And more importantly for me, I'm very happy with the proportions. Ray Stevenson in this show was very stocky, very brooding. I mean, even like this is the perfect photo you have in front of when it has his hoodie on. You can really see how broad his shoulders are.
Hoodie is a goodie.
He's a massive, massive dude. I mean, I think he's like 6. Like he's a really, really tall guy. But and I love that they really captured that. And I just for like as far as the design is going, he's one of my favorite one of my favorite characters from the show. But more important, I loved his costume design too. He really, for me, he always felt like a medieval knight, just the way his wardrobe is compared to a traditional Jedi or Sith. I mean, it's beautiful choices on this over here, even to the stance of how he holds his saber. Like I was really like invested in this character throughout the entire show. So my only tiny thing, and this is so minor, is just like I wish there was a little bit more salt and pepper in his hair, because this feels a little bit more, a little too white, not enough black and grays in the herring. But I mean, that's paint apps for you. I mean, you can't always nail it every single time, but I think it's really good enough. But like overall, from a figure standpoint, this thing is gorgeous. So that's really what I feel about it. I can't wait to get this one.
I agree. They really did him justice. So that's nice to see. You know, it's weird too, because not only did they come out really early with them, but they did the figure justice as well. So figure how you figure you're gonna how far into this line are you going?
Yeah, that's the debate for the day, man. That's what I keep going back and forth on with myself, because we were just talking about, what if they announce Alien tonight? What if Brick said it best a minute ago. Like, I feel like I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I really kind of pick and choose characters as opposed to a full line of figures. And I'm anticipating like OT making a return at some point, kind of like we saw with like the Han Solo coming out, all this different stuff. So I'm kind of waiting until I start collecting the OT, because that's where I'm kind of like you, Graham. I really want to have those type of characters in my collection as well. So for me, man, it's one of those weird things where it's like a timing thing. It's like when these were announced, there wasn't a whole lot of Star Wars out. I was really hyped on the show. Still am. I really like the show. I'm going to say I could see myself realistically, if I'm not getting caught up in the hype, I realistically see me getting about 5 figures from this line. Like realistically, like, yeah, because I keep thinking like, man, I think, and I was texting Steve, I was like, dude, I think Captain Enoch's a must have. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, when it comes time to buy him, maybe I still don't buy him, because I get caught up in the hype, but I do think that looks beautiful. That's the problem with this line, dude, is every piece you could argue is a must-have in some sense, because there's people that are going to collect troopers and really want to have that trooper representation on their shelf. Brick just said like he's kind of not as big into Shin anymore, but if he decided to jump into this line, maybe he just goes with Shin and Baylan. Like, I do like the versatility of this line, where you have your rebels, you got your Ahsoka, you got Baylan and Shin. There's ways to get access to this line without feeling like, it's kind of like Guardians 3, like the way Brick navigated that. Like, I'm going to get Star-Lord and Drax. I don't, I'd love to have all of them, or not Drax, but Groot.
Yeah, don't you
so that's how I'm kind of navigating it too, is like, okay. And my focus is kind of like that Rebels focus, like somebody had said earlier. So that's a long way of saying that I'm scared, man. I'm scared of this line. It's a timing thing for me though, how deep I go, but I will say I got about 4 or 5 on pre-order right now, Baylan included. So
all right, we're gonna end pretty quick here because we got to keep moving. But Brick, do you think you can get Baylan without Shin, or vice versa? Can they be standalone? They gotta go together. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously people can do what they want, but just
yeah, I mean, anybody can do what they want. But if I were to go to somebody's house and they had Baylan, my first question would be like, "Where's Shin?"
It's like spaghetti.
If
and
they had
meatball.
Shin, I'd say, "Is Baylan coming in? Or are you planning on getting?" That's like my first question. So, no. Yes, they can do whatever the hell they want. So yeah, but no.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
No, and I agree. Like, this figure looks so dope. Like, I see why you guys are in love with him and stuff, but like, it just stinks. It's almost like a letdown for me because, well, I did think Ray did a great job in the series. There's just not enough history with me in the character to really want to buy in, and it would be different too if it was a new character, but it was like the main character. I mean, granted, he's kind of like the villain and whatnot, but I don't know, it just wasn't enough there for me to buy in right away. Could that change down the line? Like maybe in 5 years when the Ahsoka series is like killing it, and there's more like that nostalgia and stuff. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm also just trying to be super disciplined and really just get the figures that mean the most to me. And just right now, like, as good of a job as he did and as great as this figure turned out, I just don't see myself in love with the character. So, and I also just don't have like as much backstory in like Clone Wars and Rebels. Like, I've watched good amount of them, but it's not my passion. My passion's the OT, so that's kind of where I fall in line.
And see, that's where I am too. Like, Graham, that's a great point you're bringing up, because I catch myself, and I don't know if y'all struggle with this as well, but I catch myself like prequel trilogy is really like kind of the stuff I'm most nostalgic for. That's the first movies I saw in theater. OT. I even find characters I really like from the sequels. So I mean, I like to get characters from different eras, but that's the feeling at the end of the day when I'm really trying to decide if I'm going to get a figure or not, or have it in pre-order. I've made mistakes on this already, but I try to stick by this of like what you just said. I want to get a character that I really love, that has like that connection of like man, this is Han Solo. I grew up watching this character. Like, so I think that that's where we're getting, man, with all these, like you said, the price point for this line makes it more accessible, but I think we're getting there as a whole, man, with all these releases, these deluxe, these artisans, these figures getting up to $400+. I think that that's kind of where I'm at too, man. It's like Brick mentioned the Xenomorph. Like, that's a must have, because that's just an iconic character that once it's on your shelf, man, you probably don't ever need to get another one again if you take care of it. You know what I mean? And so that's a great point I just wanted to mention, because that's kind of what I'm trying to navigate as well, is like, what's the most important characters that I still don't have without getting caught up in the hype and what's available right now. Like Brick said, let's think ahead a year or two. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Joao says, if I had to go to someone's house and I see Sabine in here, I would ask, where is Chopper? Okay, but question. If you go to somebody's house and they have Hera and Chopper, would you say, where's Sabine, or would that suffice? Because that's maybe what I'm going to do. So let me know. All right. Any final thoughts, Brick, DLO, on Baylan?
Yeah, it's certainly a beautiful piece, but I mean, to everybody's point there, I mean, totally understandable if you're not in on this figure here, because at the end of the day, you know, he doesn't have the pedigree or background of some of the other people that you guys mentioned there. So it's totally reasonable. I mean, he is, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, he is an optional character, right? And he's not essential to your Star Wars collection unless you collect all of Star Wars. So that's totally fine. I would make the argument that if, you know, obviously you were a fan of the show and you were a fan of his performance, and obviously, and I hate for it to sound morbid, but the fact that he has passed away too, and this is his last foray into this character, we will never get to see him again. That does do a little something for me from the collecting standpoint of it there. Just, it may not have necessarily the nostalgia, but it also has some of that commemorative feel to it, if you will. Right. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a wonderful figure. I think if you're going to get it, you're going to love it. But I also agree it's not something you need to have either. For me, I need to have it. I've kind of vision boarded my collection and where it's going to go on the Star Wars side of the wall for quite some time. So I've already managed to talk myself into this figure and a lot of the figures from the Ahsoka line many times over at this point. So I'm excited for it. This is going to be my go-to line. Like, every year there's a line that I will invest in. When it came to Marvel a couple years ago, No Way Home was a big one for me. Like, I had to have that in my collection there. This year, it's going to most likely be the Ahsoka line, because, you know, like I say with Sneaker all the time, it's just like, hey, this is such a versatile line that literally you can put things and find things here that you can put for your other Star Wars here. Obviously, young Padawan, Ahsoka, that's easy. That's going to sneak into your Clone Wars collection, right? That's a give me. The Mandalorian Commando, there you go. Bam, it goes in there too. And then, of course, obviously, a lot of these characters are from Rebels. So there is something, I think, for mostly everybody in this particular line. And that's a great thing, because it doesn't mean that you have to collect them all to have the line. Right. You can get something from one thing or another from the line, and it'll fit whatever you already are collecting, which is why I say this is such a versatile line. For me, kind of like Breda is with his stuff here. Shout out to Breda if he's still in here. Like, the way he loves his Mando, I think this is like the next Mando line. I keep saying that because I think like it's such a strong line. It fills a lot of like shelves for a lot of collectors. And if this one is a pass for you here, I'm sure there's another one from the collection or the line that you're going to like. And that's great. So, but for me, I love the figure. I love the character. I want to have some representation of Ray Stevenson in the collection because he's a great actor. So for me, it's just like, yeah, I mean, I cannot wait to get this on my shelves. I'm genuinely excited about this one.
Yeah, same for me. I'm still getting this one, Graham. Yeah, this is one of the 5 that I mentioned. Like, this is I'm a deal on this, man. I really want this. This might be the only one. So if you're somebody that really likes to hold that, like, you want to have those characters that years from now you kind of you're like, oh, I think this is a really cool piece for you, man. So, but yeah, well said, Dilo.
Well said. All right, let's stick with Star Wars, but let's move on to something else, which was, if you thought you were surprised about Baylan being announced like 6 months early, how about Galen Erso possibly coming out as a figure here? So let me just see here. So take home your own exclusive Galen Erso Hot Toys 1/6 figure available at Star Wars Celebration Japan. Obviously, this is probably going to be pretty damn limited. If it's like a Star Wars Celebration, figure, but holy shit, like Galen Erso, like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Like, I wouldn't have this isn't a figure that I thought they would do, or a character that I thought they would do. Like, I don't know. There's so many Star Wars characters, and there's nothing against Galen Erso, but I never saw this coming, or never thought I guess I never thought there'd be a demand for this, but what are your guys' thoughts? I want to hear what your thoughts are. First, I want to start with Justin, and I'd like him to give a brief description on his thoughts of Rogue One.
Yeah, I'll be quick, and then I'll just get absolutely hammered in the chat. But Rogue One, aside from Jen Erso from that movie, that would be the only character I'd kind of want from that line. Again, it's not one of my personal favorite Star Wars films, so this is an easy pass for me. I don't mind this being the exclusive at Star Wars Celebration. Look at this, bro. Look at this. Right when I'm getting on a good take about Galen
Budget
Erso, bro.
sneaker.
What's up,
That's
Sneaker?
a wild.
Let him have it,
I gotta say,
Justin.
Justin's killing it tonight, though. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad you can make it, man. Glad you can make it.
Next week, it's gonna be. It's actually gonna be these two just going at it. We're gonna have questions for each one of them. And we're just gonna judge them by their answers, and
Yeah, we're gonna have a
survival
game.
of the fittest. Yeah,
Budget sneaker versus sneaker.
who takes that fourth seat?
Well, let's not let that take, Brick. Can we call let's
I like
if,
it.
If we keep calling me budget sneaker, that's gonna really take, and then it's gonna be this whole thing, man.
That's a problem.
I'm already known as Mr. Meow, so it's it is what it is. But no, real because of that Catwoman I hyped up for months. And I got here, I was like, damn it. But anyway, real quick, because I want to hear what everybody else to say about this. I'm glad this is the exclusive, because I probably, if this was something that I really wanted, then I would be like bummed I wouldn't be able to get it. So for me, I'm okay with this being the Celebration exclusive or whatever. So, but yeah, it would be a pass for me no matter what. So
why didn't you like Rogue One?
it just didn't work for me, man. It just didn't work for me.
But you like the OT, right?
Yeah, I did.
Man, I thought it was as close to OT as we've gotten since the OT.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just, like I said, it just didn't work for me. I found it, I'm not going any more into this because it's gonna just get,
But I'm curious though, because Grammer's point. I mean, if you're an OT fan, I mean, this is the closest you get to OT. Like, what is it specifically? Was it the characters themselves? Was it a story?
I felt like the way the story unfolded for me is I kind of already knew the destination. And so for me, with movies like that, like I know the prequels were kind of like that as well, but you kind of got like deeper into the characters and the conflicts and stuff. With this one, I would have loved to actually seen this more of as a show. I think it could have fleshed out a lot more of the characters and stuff. I just felt like the characters were kind of just going along with, I felt like the characters didn't act in a way that I would expect them to do stuff. It was more like they were just getting to this final resolution that was always going to be there no matter what they had done. So that's kind of what it was for me.
Justin, is this true?
Performances were good, but that's not.
If it is, I can't take anything.
That's not true, Christian. Come on, man. Come on, Christian.
Tell us the truth after the show. It'll be all right.
Yeah, off screen, I'll tell you how many times I've seen that.
Brick, what are your thoughts on this? Mean anything to you? I know we just talked about this is kind of like Star Wars is kind of down a little bit on your radar, but
yeah, I mean, it sounds like I like Rogue One a little bit more than our friend Justin here, but do I need a Galen Erso? No. Cool character, but even though I think I like the movie more, I also don't think I need more than maybe the Vader from Rogue One and Jen Erso from that movie. So I kind of agree with Justin when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool for those people that want it. Anytime a figure comes out that we don't have, for me, for Marvel, for something that we don't have, it's really a cool feeling. So especially when it's an exclusive, and if you get a piece of that, it'd be pretty sweet. So congrats to anybody who gets this.
DLO, I gotta admit, I'm I'm most interested to hear what your thoughts are on this. Like, if this is something you really want or not, because I know your collection is, you got a lot of Rogue One. I know you've kind of limited or sold off a couple of the pieces, but
Yeah.
is this something that like interests you, or is this something like it's a pass? Because I know for me, love Star Wars, love the movie, but it's an easy pass. But I'm curious to see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of on the list of things I never thought we'd see on my bingo card. You know what I mean? So definitely a bit surprised by this one here. But I mean, I'd be lying if you say I wasn't a bit intrigued. I mean, I never thought I would consider a Galen Erso figure, nor did I think it would ever be an option. But thinking about it, and yes, I'm a big. You guys know me as a Batman fan, but I'll drop a video and you guys will see my massive Star Wars collection. I collect way more Star Wars than I collect anything else. So I mean, I just don't talk about it as much, just because, you know, if you don't say the names correctly, you're not a Star Wars fan. So
Padme.
Yeah, Padme. Still stand by that. I think it's better. But anyway, I mean, Galen Erso, I mean, he's unique because he has quite a resume, right? If you guys remember what his role was in the development of the Death Star, excuse me. See, there you go, me again. The Death Star over here. Like, it's kind of cool to have him, especially played by like a major actor like Mads Mikkelsen as well too. So it's a unique offering that I don't necessarily know everybody would be excited to see and have per se, which I think is smart to maybe make this one a limited exclusive for Star Wars Celebration. But I think at the end of the day, I think I'm more excited, not necessarily about the figure himself, because I mean, I imagine this to be one of those like raffle lottery system.
I was going to say, this is going to be very hard to obtain.
I feel like this would be that, because I just don't think there's enough people who would back it. But I think from a lottery perspective, this is going to crash a website for sure. But I think more importantly, this is kind of opening up the window for talking about Rogue One 2.0s. And I know some people are going to be very excited to hear that, and some people are going to probably be, shaking their hands at the screen now as I talk about this. But you got to have the conversation. If you see something like this out of nowhere, no one's asking for this. The answer to the question is, why are we getting it? And I think it's a combination of things here. We never got anything for Andor season 1. That was a very big thing in the community. A lot of people were very upset that nothing was done from that show, especially Cassian, right? So it only makes sense now, knowing that we're getting season 2. Season 2 is going to cover a lot more ground than season 1 did, and it's going to lead directly into Rogue One. You got to believe between Krennic appearing, K2SO, obviously Cassian, it's his show. Like, you're going to expect like Hot Toys to go into this line, and I think transitioning from Andor to Rogue One again is an easy way to get to the 2.0 conversation when it comes to Rogue One. As much as like I love Rogue One, I will tell you, yes, I've sold some of those figures, and the reason why I sold them is because they're some of the oldest Star Wars figures Hot Toys have ever made. Ironically enough, like when Hot Toys got into the Star Wars game, New Hope, Rogue One, a lot of those were the first Hot Toys figures made for them. So I think they warrant a 2.0 in some of those figures. Jyn Erso definitely being on top of that list.
See, I could think of maybe Jyn, but I can't really think of other.
Chirrut is fine. I think Chirrut is still great.
2.0s. I mean, our troopers too, and Krennic is a work of art. K2SO, it's a droid. Like, I don't know.
Krennic came very late though.
On that.
So funny you bring up Krennic here, because Krennic came in way after the line has been kind of put to pasture. Right at that point, we were going deep into the new trilogy at that point, as far as like what Hot Toys was producing. So I was very surprised to just see it come out of nowhere. But I feel like that's kind of where we are with Star Wars right now. I feel like there's so many more Star Wars collectors in the 1/6 community now than there were back then, to where like there's opportunity to go back to the well again on some of those and really, take advantage of the new customers and new collectors who didn't get it at that time. So I think this is a tease of things to come. One thing that like this reminds me of, and is, I don't know, Graham, if this was the same time when you started out, but Two-Face was a Comic-Con exclusive for San Diego one year, and it was random. Dark Knight was dead and gone. Like we weren't even talking about Dark Knight. We were way into BVS, Justice League, like randomly just Two-Face by himself. And then fast forward to today, we're talking about how great Bane looks, how we have 2 armories, how, we have Catwoman, better or worse, we have Catwoman. I mean, there's Artist and Joker, you name it. There's so much of resurgence of that there. And it all kind of leads with, usually Hot Toys leaves a hint that something is going to eventually come from this one random thing that they put out there. And I think for Galen Erso, a combination of either Andor line, which I think is a gimme at this point. I think season 2 is going to get something, but I think that just means more that Rogue One is going to be revisited, and I think some of these are going to get 2.0'd. Maybe not necessarily like the troopers and stuff. I think they will probably stay away from those.
Because I mean, like the Shore Trooper and the Death Trooper have pretty much already been 2.0.
Exactly. I mean, as much as people like the Captain, and that's considered the best Shore Trooper out of the bunch, I don't see Hot Toys needing to 2.0.
You need to keep it. You need to give it some value yet as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, having a Jyn Erso, in her tradition, not the In Disguise one. I think that one will probably be fine, but I think the main Jyn Erso will probably get the 2.0 treatment, and it will, and definitely needs it there. I mean, with the advancement in paint apps, I mean, even the clothes are faded and nasty on some of these older
not mine
Jyn Ersos. No, they're not. You're welcome. But yeah, I think there's definitely an opportunity to 2.0 some of these that can definitely use it, but also fill out the line more. We didn't get everybody. We didn't get Bays. We didn't get a lot of folks from the team at per se. So I think this is the chance to do this. There's nothing necessarily that's big on Star Wars, itinerary to have to make right now that they can't revisit now. Rogue One. They've been tackling the prequel trilogy for a while. They'll dabble in the OT every now and then. Rogue One is right there, prime for the taking. So with announcement of Galen Erso, people are going to 100% be in on that there. But I believe it's going to lead to a resurgence of Rogue One figures again.
What would be funny is if they do start, they won't redo the whole line, obviously, because like what we just talked about with Troopers and like K2SO, they kind of already 2.0 that as well, if we're being honest. But wouldn't it be funny if they did a Tarkin and they rebranded him from Rogue One, but it was like the same figure? That'd be nice. I'd pick that up. But the other thing, guys, I want to get the other guys included here too, but I don't know if you've been on BST today at all, but from this Galen Erso little poster, we've seen numerous people, some dumping Rogue One entirely, and others like selling Jyn Erso. And like, do you think it warrants that, or like has there been enough to warrant selling and getting ready for 2.0s? Like with Batman Returns, we saw the figure, the placeholder, we saw the Terminator T800. Like, I don't know, like for me it's a little risky unless you're just wanting to get out and being done with it in general, but like to upgrade, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? A little too early for that?
I think it's too early. I think you're going to be waiting a while. Right now, all we have is a little tease, basically, that there's going to be an exclusive. We haven't seen the figure, let alone like we haven't even heard anything about these other figures. You know what I mean? So we have all of these teases that we've seen, like we mentioned before, the T1000, the Xenomorph, the Batman and Robin. We've seen all these teases. I feel like a lot of these figures are going to get announced first. Now, can they announce anything at any time? Sure. But I think there's a lot of things they're going to announce this year. And if they go into Rogue One, you're looking at next year. And this Venom that we're going to be talking about is scheduled to release 2026. So this Rogue One is not going to be released until 2026.
Right. Maybe. It's just weird because I'm looking at your Vader in the background too. And that's Rogue One. And technically they've kind of 2.0 that too. Like it's, they've 2.0'd a lot of this line without really doing it, which is actually really interesting because I've never really thought about it. But Shore Trooper, Death Trooper, K2SO, Darth Vader. Is there anything else that's been redone that I can't think of? I mean, Jarrett, they made Kane. If you want to count that, probably not. But it's just funny that they reused that one. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think you could just see even just a Jyn Erso, and that might be it. But
that's what I think. Yeah, that would be the character in my opinion. I mean, I think there's a reason you haven't seen a whole lot from Andor yet. I think maybe they are waiting for maybe that season 2 because they will introduce more of that Rogue One character storylines in that one. So that could be a possibility. The other possibility is maybe those figures, as much as people hold them in high regard, maybe they just didn't sell extremely well. And, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I think Jen is like a safe bet to get another Jen for sure. I feel like if you're going to get one character from that line, it would be that, Cassian being second.
Man, 10 years.
Yeah, man. But every time, I mean, yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I've every time I try to think about like, are we going to like, because wasn't we kind of speculated what we were going to get for 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, man. And I'll be honest, like, been super disappointed with that. So I don't know if they're just taking their time with that, but
I mean, even
you just never
Return
know,
of the
man.
Jedi
Like
and
I
shit,
said.
like.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't think they're going to redo this whole line. But I think DLO's onto something where Jen Erso is like, I still love my figure and I don't even know if I'd upgrade, but I could definitely see though your point of view where she could definitely use an upgrade. So, and maybe that would just, I don't know. Cause like somebody said too, like the line is actually really popular in the community. Like it's a beloved line in Star Wars is Rogue One. So I'm sure people will be standing in line for this Galen, but it's going to be like, what do you guys think the number is going to be on that? 1,000, 1,500 at the most?
Yeah.
Worldwide, I would say 1,500.
I think even
I'd go a little bit more. I mean, I wouldn't go much more, but I'd say 2,000.
Yeah.
Just don't.
think so.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2,500.
I'm going to say
There you go.
4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
You went from like what?
I'm just kidding. I think it's like closer, like 1,500
Price
at
is
the
right.
most.
Price is right.
Price is wrong, bitch. All right. Darth says if they didn't go all out for TPM 25th, I don't want to see a damn thing for 10th of Rogue One. Phantom Menace, that is.
I still think we're getting Kenobi and Jar Jar. So
Jar Jar's coming for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, you would think Kenobi is going to be around the corner.
I still think that's coming.
Might be tonight.
It's
Might be tonight.
actually Justin's job tonight to just keep refreshing Facebook until we go.
You are doing that every like 1 second, right?
Yeah. And I got a notification from Hot Toy Store and I was like, huh. And then it was like a Venom 3 giveaway. I was like, damn.
Or
I
Cos
thought it was
Baby.
Yeah,
Gosh,
exactly.
baby.
Yeah, we got to get more from Phantom Menace, dude. Like I said, man, again, if you're a huge fan of Rogue One, it just wasn't for me, but I still appreciate the characters, the story, all that stuff. But that's where my focus is, man. I definitely want to get some OT characters as well. But like Phantom Menace is something that just holds a lot of that nostalgic pull for me, man. And that Maul was a very exciting release for me. Like Brick was saying, man, I got to see like Padawan Obi-Wan. Like, there's just so many iconic characters we can get from that movie in particular that I'd love to see. So,
I was going to ask you something I forgot. When's the last time you saw Rogue One, or how many times have you watched it?
I will say I watched it one time in theaters, and that's it.
I would
That's
say
it.
give it another shot.
I think I will.
Because
I think I will.
I just know there's movies where I expect stuff and then I'm really let down. But then I'll wait a year, 2 years, or whatever, and I'll go back to. I'm like, that's actually not that bad, or
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah,
I
I think I will. I'll keep you guys updated on it, and I'll give you my honest take. It's been a long time, so maybe I could see it with some fresh eyes, and
Let's do a watch party.
maybe I expected too much. Yeah, I don't know.
I know sometimes I expect too much with some movies too, so I try not to get overhyped these days. But like Solo was another one of those movies where I did not like it. But then I watched it again and I was like, this isn't actually that bad. And then now I'm like, it's an okay movie. So
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting stuff. Like that's Star Wars Celebration 2025. So stay tuned if you guys are interested in that. We're gonna switch gears here a little bit, and we're gonna go to the next figure, and it was Venom. Comic book Venom, if I'm not mistaken. And I gotta admit, Brick is our resident Venom fan here on the show. So like for me, they all start to look alike a little bit. Now this one does look really badass. I can definitely see that. But like, another Venom, another Venom, another Venom. Like which one is this one? So I'm just a little bit lost in the shuffle. But so I want to start with Brick on this one and your thoughts. And honestly, I want to know, like, is this something you're going to pick up? Because not only is it really badass, but you have live action Venom, but then you're also getting the large ass Venom.
Yeah.
So
it's not even the video game Venom. It's just the large ass Venom.
So I want to know, like, hey, well, what your thoughts are, but like, are you really going to add a third Venom, or is one of them going to go, or what is your thought process on that?
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to my mind, and I will say it, is, to me, this is lazy. Now, does it look cool? Yes, and I'll get into that. But to me, they're using the same exact body,
sure,
as the movie Venom, right? The body that they've already used twice. They don't have the blue veins. They didn't paint those veins on there, and they put the symbiote suit on there. But the body is the exact same. To me, that does not scream comic book Venom. It's not. He's also, when I look at comic books and I look at, like, I know he's black, but at certain times he's also like, he has that blue tint. Okay, so I like that blue tint in my comic book Venom. These eyes, that to me is dope as hell, but that doesn't scream comic book Venom to me either. To me, if anything, that those Venom eyes look more like when Scorpion became Venom. That those were kind of like his eye style or something like that. They have the bottom look, but the top look is curling a little bit more, that you see more in like the movie or something like that. The mouth is without a doubt spot on for me. I think the teeth.
It's a good mouth.
That's a good mouth right there. So the mouth looks great. The teeth look amazing. The tongue looks great. The logo is awesome, which is what everybody wanted. I get it. He's even got like the I forgot what they call that, but he doesn't have like the webbing or anything like that either, which is fine. You know, he doesn't have the webbing all the time either in Venom, you know. But then you have, thank you for perfect timing. Then you have these symbiotes coming out of him. Not comic book accurate. It's movie accurate. It's not comic book accurate. So that bothers me as well. I think what gets me is that it screams comic book Venom, and I want a comic book Venom. I don't want a movie Venom that has the logo and looks more badass. Sure, doesn't have an Eddie Brock sculpt, but still looks more badass. Like, this looks really good. But I don't want another same size Venom as what I have from the movie and then have to say this is the comic book accurate Venom, because it's not accurate for shit. It really isn't, other than the logo and his hands. I mean, to me, the base is fine. It's good. It could be better. It's fine. If you ask me what I would do differently, probably nothing, but I feel like it could be better. I don't know what I would do differently.
But it could be better.
But you got little.
I thought you were about to have some hot takes right there, man. Like, I do this.
You got little symbiotes coming up, and I just feel like they could have. I mean, they're the artists; they could figure something out that's better. Is this a sick-looking figure? Yes. Now, here's where I get a little bit into what I think could happen. We have a Venom 3 movie coming out. Okay, we're using the body a million times, because why the hell not, right? So, real quick, going back, I want a freaking comic book Venom. I don't want a fake comic book Venom. But yeah, we're getting a Venom 3 movie. I feel like we could possibly get an Eddie Brock figure with like the symbiote coming around. You know, that would be a really, really sick figure. But I also feel like we're going to be getting another Venom. And let me just say this. If you guys don't know who Null is, right? The symbiote god, basically. He is coming in Venom 3. And Donny Cates created him. He first full appearance was Venom 3 by Donny Cates. Badass character. Can't wait to see him. There's a lot of rumors on who's going to play him. It's not official who is going to play him yet, but it sounds like he's going to have a bigger part after Venom 3, which is awesome. Now, what kind of makes me wonder is, and this is going too into the comics, so Donny Cates, the guy who wrote the comic books for Venom, kind of recent, a few years back, absolutely destroyed these movies, especially the first one. He thought it was terrible and everything, and now they took his character Noel that he created and is putting in Venom 3, and he's super excited for it, and he said they're doing it right and all that. So I'm really excited for this. And if you guys know Donny Cates, he's pretty dark, which is why there's a symbiote god. If you look him up, he's in the trailer. He's pretty dark. Sick. Now, those teeth that Venom has right here not only reminds me of comics and, you know, somewhat animated look, but Noel's look. The symbiotes, right? That is Noel's look. If you look at, I think I sent you some pictures, Graham, but like he's got like this, it's like a red spiral. So that's what Noel looks like, right? So I don't know if you got all the pictures, but like right here. So to me, that's more Noel. That is scary shit. But I don't know if they're doing this and they're gonna say Venom 3 comic edition, or if they're gonna do another Venom, or what they're gonna do with this figure. But if this is our only comic book version of Venom that we will be getting, I'm going to get it because it's badass.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering.
I will be getting it.
But don't bullshit me and don't be lazy.
Okay.
You're gonna but think about this. but stop. So you guys, I guarantee you all three of you guys are like Joker's #1 villain, right? I'm guessing.
Yes.
For me, it's Venom.
Or Vader.
For me, it's Venom. So I'm going to get every Venom no matter what. I fucking love Venom. Okay. But like if they did this to Joker and they said comic book accurate Joker, but it was literally like, you know, a freaking Jared Leto Joker or something, you guys would be like, wait, what? Just because he didn't have the tats and he's got a hat on, like that's not comic book accurate to me. I think they're being lazy. I think they could do better. I think that Noel and this whole Venom 3 line, we're gonna find a lot out in the next few weeks. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I feel like they could have done better. That's all.
Shout out to Brick.
So
virtual hug, baby.
I don't know what the hell you were talking about because I don't know any of that shit, but it was still awesome.
You had a
Yes, that's awesome.
That's so poetic you put that, because immediately I thought of Brick and I was like, Brick is really doing his best impersonation of Frank the Tank right now. Like at the debate table, and he just blacked out right now. But
what happened?
Yeah. Bravo, Brick. Everything you said.
Yeah. And the comment that Ben Thomas has, I know that, I understand that, but like that's to me like comic book Venom. You're looking at, you know, Spider-Man 300 first full appearance. I'm looking at Donny Cates. I'm looking at, you know, when Scorpion became Venom, or when we had Flash Thompson. Nobody freaking reads the freaking, you know, Dark Origins comic run, right? So don't be lazy using the same exact body, putting a logo on it because you saw somebody do it
because you're still
it
buying
works. Because I'm a big fan. I'm sure you three aren't buying it, or if one of you guys are choosing this over the video game, and you know,
I'm actually out.
Hot Toys is screwing themselves there too, but I won't get into that. But like, why are you doing that? Wait until Venom 3 comes out. You know you're gonna have figures from that. You know you're gonna have the video game Venom release soon. Like, why are you putting this out now when you should probably do this after the movie and have your comic Venom, right? But I don't know if it's something to do with Venom 3 in the future, then cool. But I could see them using those symbiotes that are coming out of him, right? I could see that for. Because look, he has no eyes. That's exactly how it is with Noel. Like I could see them using that for Noel or something in the future, and they're just going to redo this body, redo those symbiotes once again, the same teeth. We're going to be seeing this Venom 3 more times.
I'm just gonna say this is sick right here.
Yeah,
this looks awesome.
Yeah,
but
I like it too.
EvilSneaker's at the bar with Thrawn's office, and he's asking me how many drinks I've had. Well, Mom, I've had probably 3, so there you go, and I'm still having a lot of fun. Thanks for checking in, appreciate it. So I think this is the best look at Venom we've gotten so far. But like I said, I don't know shit about Venom. So like to me, I'm just looking at him like this is super cool. And to be honest, this is one, you know, Justin talked about giving into the hype earlier. This is one that makes me contemplate it. I'm not going to, but it makes you think about it like, oh man, this would look sick just like this in the collection. But obviously it's going to wear off, you know, tonight. It was announced today. So like for me, who's not really a big Venom fan, it's one of those things where I'm like, damn, that looks really cool. Almost like with you guys with that Predator figure, like that Samurai Predator, how just badass it looked. Like I'm kind of there with this. Like, I love how the light's bouncing off of it. I love the emblem on the chest. And then I like the eyes a lot. But again, I don't know the difference between comic book Venom and movie Venom. So I don't care. And I love the base too, how it's just kind of coming up. So I like this a lot. It's weird because Brick is like hating it and he's getting it, and I'm like liking this a lot.
But no,
like,
because this is a badass figure. It's just not done right. Like
right.
it's kind of like maybe not as extreme, but like Imposter Joker, where it's just not right. It's just
my favorite part of the whole thing, though, is Brick's like, you know, and what I would do different, absolutely nothing. But it's so wrong. The whole thing's awful.
Shame on them.
Oh man.
To be fair, I only said that about the base.
That was funny though.
But you know what?
What I do different? Nothing.
But you know what? Everything that Brick said is 100% true, though. Like jokes aside, and how funny this conversation is, he's got a point. He's got a point. If it was your character, you'd want it to be the most accurate possible. And I think Hot Toys semi screwed the pooch on this one here because, you know, Brick is not the only one in the community that feels that way. I've seen a lot of people agree with Brick's take on that over there. And the fact of the matter is, you know, everybody's correct. Everybody's correct on that. I will say what they could have done, and I think the blow in the community would have been a little easier for everybody if this was advertised as comic book concept.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Venom instead. They've done those before, and it's a very simple, you know, money grabbing reason for that here. We will make something that is familiar to comic book fans, but it'll be based on the actual movie of it there. Wonder Woman, for example, Iron Man's example. So there's a line for that there. And I think that's where, if it was advertised as that, I think the collector, the purist of fans of Venom wouldn't be so upset, because I can understand your point of view 100% on that there. But for me as a casual, like, the one thing that I didn't like about the original Venom from the movie was it didn't have the symbol. You practically took away everything that, I mean, there's not much to go with Venom. Just he's an all black suit and he's got white eyes and he's got this symbol. And it just felt like, damn, this take is really good, but it's missing something. Now they made it. And now it's where, like, I don't want it. Kind of like Graham. Like, it's kind of peeking at me over here. And I think for, like, myself, you guys know me, I'm always like, I don't collect the video games, I don't collect comic books, I don't do any of those figures, I will do movie or TV. Well, this is kind of a cheat code for me, right? Because it's the Venom movie body, but it's the style of the suit from the comics that I enjoy. Now, it's not 100% accurate. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. Brick is 110% correct about that. But it's accurate enough. If that sounds like a cop-out, I'm sorry. But it feels like it's accurate enough to where it wouldn't be out of place with a movie-inspired collection that I have. And I feel like it would just slide right in. And I'll do you one better here. I have the Carnage Deluxe with the exclusive Tom Hardy head sculpt. I can slap that on there real quick, and holy cow, I have the best of both worlds.
Wow.
So I mean, Brick is 1,000% right on his takeover. If it was the Joker, if it was the Batman, I tore to shred that WB 100 when that came out. Let's not forget that. I stand on business when business comes to my doorstep. But he's got a point. But all in all, though, I say this isn't as offensive to me as a casual as I would say other things that Hot Toys have done. If this guy was pink, like, we'd be, there'd be pitchforks out here.
Chrome.
Right?
Not gonna lie,
But,
the hell out of a pink Venom.
Yeah. A venomized Venom, some wacky shit like that. But just when you think we couldn't venom it enough, baby, here we go. But yeah, jokes aside, I mean, if you're on the fence about putting a Venom in your collection, this is not a bad offering. It's $400. I think the one from Venom 2 is still on Sideshow. I think is like $440, $450, something like that.
Dude, how cheap
I
is
think
that going to be on BST?
the massive one from the video game, I think it's like $460 and change, something like that. Don't quote me on it there, but I know it's more expensive than all the other ones.
Yeah.
So, and that's, that also requires more space because it's a taller figure overall as well too. So you got to say to yourself like, hey, if space is an issue, if money is an issue, this might fall in that sweet spot for a collector, who wants representation of the character and is not too like focused on how accurate it is. It almost feels like it's kind of the best of both worlds, if that makes sense.
Right.
So if this was comic concept Venom, I don't think anybody would complain about this here. But when you throw it, this is the comic Venom. How Brick reacted right here is exactly how a lot of collectors and a lot of fans of Venom would feel. So totally understandable.
Justin,
All my excitement's
Break
been
the tie.
drained, man. It's been drained. I thought it looked really good. Brick brought up some good points. I do think that the reason stuff will continue to not be accurate is because Brick said he's still going to get this. So I feel like it's but I mean, I like how Brick's just being honest about it. He's like, I hate a lot of what they've done, but it's still Venom and I still want it. And that's kind of how I think DLO said it best. Like, yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know, I'm a fan of Venom, not like a mega fan or anything, but I think this looks really damn good personally. And I love the symbol on the chest. That's what the Tom Hardy Venoms have been missing, and I have to have that. The other Venom from the video game is just so massive. I wonder if I have the space for it. So again, I'm probably passing on this altogether, but if I was to get a Venom, I feel like with everything that's available right now, not counting what we might get with Venom 3, this would probably be the one.
I'm actually seriously contemplating this. Like, do you think, being this is like technically the fourth Venom? That's a joke, man. Do you think, being that this is the fourth Venom, that it actually might sit around, or do you think the other ones are just going to be super cheap on the BST? Not necessarily the giant Venom, but like the other two that we've gotten. Like, do you think those are going to be like, because they're already cheap? Do you think those are just going to be like dirt cheap, not going to be able to get rid of them, and then this will be like the new hotness? Or do you think this will kind of linger because people, not everybody's as hardcore about Venom like Brick, so like maybe they're like, well, I got mine, and it's the actual live action, so will that hold more weight? Or because this looks a lot cooler, will they be going for this? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. I could see this one sitting a little too. I know a lot of people are excited, and I think the majority of people think this looks better than any other Venom. But a lot of those people already have a Venom and might not want to buy another one unless they go through the selling process or whatever. And if they're seeing how cheap it's going, I don't know. But the thing with this is, it's more like a hybrid Venom. It's more like a kit bash. You know what I mean? Like you got, like you guys were saying, like you get the best of both worlds kind of thing. And it's really cool. Now, one thing that I wouldn't do is I will never, ever buy that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the black suit. Because that's too
I hear they're
going
to fix it. You sure?
I'm 100%. If they keep that little Venom head coming around through that figure, I would never buy that.
Just can't leave it in a box and be okay with that?
I can't.
You can.
I don't know.
It's an accessory. You don't have to use it.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
It's kind of like what Justin said about this, like, I'm the problem kind of thing, which I totally agree. If I buy that Toby suit, like I don't know. I get it.
You want to be part of the solution. I get it, pal.
But
bravo to you.
Now, if they really fix it, like this hardcore hashtag, but if they fix, maybe, but I'll look at it, I'll change my mind. But as of right now, 100% no. Now, for me, if I could only choose, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, guys. I'm sorry, but if for me, if I could only choose two, I would easily choose a video game because it's 100% accurate, and I would choose Tom Hardy because it's accurate. And I guarantee you, we are getting another Tom Hardy Venom, whether it's Eddie Brock, whether it's whether it's another Venom 3.0 with a full sculpt, I don't know, but we are getting another Eddie Brock from the movie Venom, and I could see another character too from that. So I think a lot of these people that are pre-ordering this could also cancel as soon as the 3.0 comes out, because part of me would like to believe, and I'm probably wrong, but part of me would like to believe by the end of Venom 3 he is going to have this logo. I think there will be a Spider-Man in this movie, and I would like to think it would be
And then they'll
Garfield.
reissue this.
This is a lot of wishful thinking. But you guys got to keep in mind, we have a lot of Secret Wars stuff coming out. They could change the story a little bit from the comics, somehow have this logo. Andrew Garfield fought this Venom, something along those lines. Like with Noel coming, something's happening with Eddie Brock in this movie. It's final full movie. You have to finish it off with getting that logo. You have to.
Sony that we're talking outside of like Spider-Man.
This is Sony.
Not a really.
Hey, it
good
ain't Warner
record.
Brothers. You got that going for you.
Yeah.
I don't trust Sony without the help of Marvel, and this is an all Sony project. So it's just like I can totally see them giving us the middle finger.
Yeah,
like,
they
nope,
have a good track record.
same suit. Take it or leave it.
I would agree to that, but them bringing Noel gives me hope. I don't know.
That's the thing I'm worried about too, because I'm listening to your passionate speech about this character, and I know how much.
And you know how it is with me. Every time I have passion,
no, 100%. And that's what I'm listening to you talk about how passionate you are about the character. I mean, God, you like he was like shit. Episode the comic book 3 show. God damn. All right, the boy knows his stuff. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, this movie's gonna suck. And I feel bad for Rick. Like I feel, and I don't want to like think like that, but I'm like, dude, part 2 had good moments. Part 1 was really like I just don't think by the third one they're gonna get it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's just like, a trilogy. The third movie typically tends to be the weakest of the bunch. And if that's the level that they're shooting for, I don't know how much excitement I'm really gonna have about this. Maybe they're doing this suit this way because they can't create a third one of the same look, and it's just that the second one, for goodness sake, all they did was give him a pipe and reissued it and called it part 2, right? So it's like
it's a nice pipe.
That's the challenge here. Like I think a lot of people are kind of like where I am, is like they love the proportions of this size of Venom, but they just wish it looked more like comic book Venom. And I think this is for a lot of casuals. I'm not gonna say hardcore Venom fans, but casual fans. I feel like this is good enough. I just feel like this is like where it just lands in a place of like, you know what? I wasn't in the market for Venom, but I'd be more open-minded for this one. That's just me.
No, 100%. 100%. I actually somewhat enjoyed the first 2 movies, so I might be a little different on that. And I think you would think because I like Venom so much, I'd be more disappointed than a lot of other people are about those movies. But I love Tom Hardy's take on Venom. I think it's more, I go in kind of laid back. No, it's not going to be amazing.
You just enjoyed
it. Have fun with Tom Hardy and him talking with Venom. Like that's some good stuff. And I think Venom 2 could have been way better if they didn't rush it. That was a good story, but it was like choppy as hell. And that movie could have been way better. So I think they could end it off with a bang. I'm not saying it's going to be like an A+ or anything like that, but like, both movies to me are like a C+, B- when it comes to superhero movies. And I can see it being along those lines and leading into Secret Wars and seeing where this whole Noel thing goes, and crossing my fingers that he gets that logo on his chest.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So how you figure, I don't know if I caught it. Are you getting this?
No, I think I'm going to pass. If I was to get a Venom figure with what's available right now, I would probably go with this one. The video game one looks amazing, but it's just too massive. I feel like I'd have trouble like displaying that. But yeah, quick answer. I'm passing as of right now, but this does look really good in my opinion. So
what if this goes bargain bin?
I could see me probably picking this up because again, this is a character that I would love to have with a Spider-Man figure. And this is the version of the character that's the most accurate to what I'm familiar with, which is the comics, which is the Spider-Man animated series. So for me, I personally, again, man, a lot of it's that logo on the chest. Like that's a big thing for me. and I actually kind of like the base. I know Brick has some issues with it, and I'm not saying it's perfect, but I like how it kind of
like
feels deluxe without it taking up just a shitload of space. You know what I mean? So I kind of like that.
No, I agree. Like
aspect of it.
diorama base where it looks nice, but you don't have to. Doesn't always have to be large because some of us have a lot of figures next to each other, so you don't want it to be too wide or too much of a footprint. So I don't know. I think this is cool too. I like it. I'm 40/60 right now. Like literally, I didn't even look at the pictures of this morning because it's Venom, and I'm just like, it's just not for me. I had the live action for a hot minute, and I sold it right away. So, but I don't know. I like the design. I like the base. I like the eyes, the chest logo as well. So I don't know, 40%, man.
Y'all like
That's gone up.
y'all like this announcement more than that Doctor Doom announcement we just got? That's like the comic version.
Oh, 110%. Because it's Venom.
Yeah,
Because it's Venom.
DLO was pretty in love with that one.
Doom was
The
pretty
only-
dope, bro. I'm not.
The
gonna
only
lie.
thing that gets me with Doom is that I know the one that I want is not here yet because we're gonna get a Robert Downey Jr. version, and that's just me personally. I'm not gonna buy this one just to give me a year or two for, a couple years to hold off because I'm not.
I don't know, man.
Doom is
That
cool,
looks
but, like,
fantastic.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good, but I'm not as big of a Doom fan to where I need to buy this one now and while I'm waiting for Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, no, I hear you. With that said, I'm not 40/60 gram. I'm like 20/80. Like I love the announcement. I like the comic. Yeah, I like the comic. Like I really like this. I kind of like this from Hot Toys. Like I like seeing versions of these type of characters. Like, I personally like what they're doing with the comic line. But yeah, I'm just not with everything else I got, man, on PO. I'm gonna have to pass on this one, I think.
Exquisite.
I agree. If this one would have to sit, and then I'd have to. Honestly, this would have to be like a sideshow 25% off type of thing for me to probably pick up, but I do like it. It's cool.
I need a cheap Spider-Man to have this one have his you guys remember that very famous cover where he's smashing Spider-Man into the ground, and that'd be cool.
That would be cool. DLO, you in or are you out?
I'm really close to being in. I'm like 70-30
Okay.
in on that there.
Starting to feel it.
Did Brick convince
I'm
you?
gonna sell mine. I'm gonna sell mine. Like if I do it, I'm gonna 100% sell mine. I won mine on a raffle, so whatever I get for it, I'm not gonna get much for it, but I don't care. Like I said, this is ideally what I wanted the Tom Hardy Venom to look like, and I'm totally cool with it. It's not 100% movie accurate. It's certainly not comic book accurate, but it's in that middle place, and I think it's perfect for me. This is one that I can pull the trigger on because it kind of meets those rules I kind of set for myself. So for me, if kind of like you said, Graham, if I can get this at a discount, I'm not gonna pass up on this here. That would instantly get me to buy this right away. So
It's got 3 tongues.
Yeah, well, yeah, they all do. But yeah, it's amazing how much the chest logo actually makes a difference in the figure too.
Yeah,
I thought about getting mine commissioned and doing that decal job that some people were doing, and so glad I didn't waste the money on that because there you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's move along. Let's change gears from Hot Toys to Jazz Inc. So, Yost from Jazz Inc. threw out a video this morning. Seems to be doing pretty well here. And it's finally got the pre-order info for the Jazz Inc. 1/6 Catwoman from 1992 Batman Returns. So it's a little it's a lot to take in. You have a lot of different SKUs or packages that you can choose from, a lot of different prices, but they do finally have the prices here listed. We can take a look at some of the video here. I haven't looked at it myself. I've just kind of glanced at some of this. Now, he wanted to keep the basic version to around 3. He looks like he's, for the most part, done that, 315. And then their basic battle damage is 340. You got a clean DX 450, Ultimate DX 490, and then a 2-pack 950. So lots of different stuff. If you're not sure which is which, just kind of read through and what they all come with and whatnot. But I guess what I want to ask you guys is, now that we know the prices for this figure, are you still interested? Or is this something you're going to wait on and just take that risk that Hot Toys is going to do this eventually? Also, I want to throw this out there. Like, these are the prices, but this isn't going to include shipping or like reseller fees or anything like that.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect you're actually going to be paying $315 for the basic figure. It might be closer to like $4, if I'm guessing. So I guess I want to know if anybody's jumped off the bandwagon. Some of you might have not even been on it, but where are we at with this figure? And if you're getting it, which one are you thinking is the best value for you to get? Let's start with how you figure, being our special guest.
Man, I want this. You know, I really do want this. I've never had a Jazz Inc piece at all, so I'm really interested in getting something. Right now I'm not collecting vehicles, so this is very intriguing to me. I love the character of Catwoman. I love Michelle Pfeiffer's take on it. I was about to say, I mean, as much as I loved Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, I mean, this is the definitive Catwoman in live action, in my opinion. So I just think it looks damn good, man. It's going to be tough for me to pass on this. I do think I'm going to pre-order it. This would have been a no-brainer, and I'm glad you pulled up this picture, Graham. This would have been an absolute no-brainer if I could have got this Hell Here diorama base without having to get the 2-pack. And I understand the logistics of all of it, probably of why he wanted to put it with the 2-pack and all that. I mean, I'm sure there was reasons for that, but that is a huge bummer. I'm not going to lie. Like, that to me is like a diorama base that I desperately would want to go with it. And I'm not going to be getting the 2-pack of this. Cause by the time you actually get that, I mean, you're looking at about $1,200, $1,250, I would think. The one I'm interested in, I would probably say would be that Battle Damage Deluxe. That's kind of the one I'm looking at. If I had to pick, as much as I like the clean version, I think the Battle Damage just gives you a little bit of both, of the best of both worlds with her character. Is like, you get a little bit of that, like towards the second half of Returns. I really like kind of what her character kind of becomes, And so that's kind of what I would probably go with if I am going to pick this up. So I'm still undecided. I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be something I'm going to think about tonight. But if I do pre-order this, I'm leaning towards that Battle Damage Deluxe. I think it looks really damn good. Like, I just want to put that out there. Like, it looks damn good.
No, I mean, from the prototype photos, this is an amazing figure. I have some other reservations on why I'm probably not even going to go for this, but does anybody know the pre-order window for this? Is this, I know it's tomorrow, but is this like it's going to be sold out tomorrow? Is there a 2-week window? Does anybody know kind of what because I know Jazzy's like, I'm pre-ordering last. Jazz Inc with their first batch quality control issues ain't it. Does anybody know what the window is going to be? I just know it's tomorrow is when it starts.
I don't
know.
No one knows. It's a mystery. This game, I'm sure somebody does, but not
Big
me.
Question: will this look like the proto? Yeah, I mean this is their first 1/6 figure. I mean, they do vehicles great, but Queen Studios does great statues as well. I mean, they do great figures as well, but we've had some hiccups here and there. So like, who knows? Like, it's the first of its kind for Jazz Inc, but it does look damn good. Go ahead, DLO.
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction when I first started, I should say knee-jerk reaction, was way too high. I'm out. That was my first initial reaction, because I was out even before I even thought about, the extra cost of, some vendor carrying it and the shipping and all that stuff like that. Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's going to be a big no for me there, buddy. But the more time I had to kind of like watch Yost's video, which was very helpful, by the way. So shout out to Yost for putting that out there, because I appreciate good context of what exactly you're providing. I think that was a very good video to do. So thank you for putting that out there for a casual like myself. And looking at after watching his video, I lightened up on it a lot more than I initially felt on it there. Now, kind of to like value wise there, I mean, 3 head sculpts with the amount of specific accessories that come with each one here, that's not a bad deal. It's really not as bad as my first reaction was, right? I think if you go with like the basic models, and I know they're not technically basic, but if you go with the basic models, I don't see the value for you to buy something like that, I think going with the deluxe versions, either one battle or clean, makes more sense. If you're going to spend that, you might as well spend a little more and get something like that, because I feel like it just equals out to, you know, less money that you're technically spending because you're getting more in that particular packaging of it there. So I think it's really good. I mean, the battle damage one, kind of to Justin's kind of opinion on it, I kind of have the same sentiment as well too. I just feel like for me, that's the one I'm really more intrigued on, because I just feel like if, let's say hypothetically, Hot Toys were to make it, that would be the one they probably would not make first, and that would kind of leave me open to maybe getting this one from Yost and Jazz Inc, and then maybe, just maybe, Hot Toys doing a clean version, which I think they will eventually at this point do, which would be nice to have both in the collection there. Great picture, man. Great.
Hello
Man,
there.
Yost is a hell of a salesman. Let me tell you. I was like,
He knows what he's doing.
he said it in the audio. If you play it, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you know, that
Hello?
2-pack is starting to look a little better, huh, D-Lo?
Yeah.
It's a nice 2-pack.
950 ain't so bad. But let's talk about the 2-pack for a second here. Let's talk about the 2-pack here. So at first I was like kind of perplexed. I was like, man, what? How? Like, I thought initially it was just like combining the 2 DXs together, and that's what it was. And I thought the math isn't mathing. I was like, why is this more? But then I didn't realize you had that special diorama base instead that's replacing one of the snow stands in there. So it's really nice. So overall, I mean, it's a very nice bundle that they're offering there. The big question is here, as much as I love Catwoman, do I need all of that? Do I need everything there? Like, that's where, like, in the moment, I think we're all going to say yes, 100%, because I got to have it. But I think as time goes on, if I like stop to think about it, because I went from absolutely no to like, okay, maybe I might buy this, to like, which one should I buy? And I think for me, like I said, I think the battle damage one speaks to me more, but there's always just that's, you know, sneaky suspicion that Hot Toys is going to make this now, more specifically.
Right.
So that, yeah, it's money, right? It prints itself with this kind of figure here. So it's going to be interesting as far as on the QC thing. That's my only thing, because this is the fear of the unknown, just because there's nothing that we have from Jazz Inc. figure-wise to say this is going to look exactly like this when we get it, right? Because we can only go by what their reputation is with some of their past vehicles, and kind of what Jazzy already said, like, yeah, the first batch tends to have quite a lot of kinks to work out, and it's always better to wait for the other ones. And that, for me, is just like, that gives me a pause of concern, because it's not the same as a vehicle, right? You can kind of pass on some defects on a vehicle, because you're not looking at one specific spot. You're looking at the entire grandness of your vehicle, right? When you're dead close and you're looking at a face sculpt, and that face sculpt has to be perfect, that body has to be perfect, any little imperfection can literally sour your whole feeling on the entire figure itself, and kind of make you feel some remorse for purchasing and then selling it quickly and possibly losing money. And I don't, you know, with everything going on, I don't want to buy something that I'm going to feel like I'm going to sell a little bit later. So I said this on a previous stream that we had here, as far as like my feelings on something like this that doesn't have a tracker specific on the figure side of things here. I would be more comfortable, quite frankly, paying a little bit more, if this makes sense to you guys, are paying a little bit more and waiting to see it in hand by somebody else before I go there and pull the trigger. Because even if I'm paying more, I'm okay with paying a little bit more, with having 100% confidence that, okay, I see it, I like it, it definitely, all my concerns are gone away. I'll probably have to pay an extra $50 or $100 more to get this off somebody's hands. I'm okay with that, because I know what I'm getting now. But going into a figure with no tracker whatsoever, that's a bit scary at this price range. And I think the big thing for me was, like, and I say this with everybody, I say it with InArt, I say it with third parties, I say it with everybody here. I always wish that when you're coming to the market with a competitive figure to a Hot Toys, I always want you to be less expensive. So I feel more entry level, to where I feel confident that, like, okay, well, I'm spending money. Yes, I'm taking a risk, but it's not a crazy risk where I have to pay more than I would if Hot Toys were to make it themselves, right? I wanted InArt to do that. I mean, I kind of wanted Jazz Inc to do it, but I understand people have costs and, you know, overhead and stuff that's, you know, out of what we do at collecting here. But I think for me, myself, I would probably have a different strategy where I would say, like, I would rather pay more afterwards and make sure this thing is going to be good as the space sinking in 350, 475, whatever the price is going to be, and not being happy with it later and then trying to get my money out of it. If that makes sense. For me, it's just too rich for my blood to begin with. And I really am at this point with this figure, like, I got to see it before I'm willing to put money down on it. I really feel that way about it strongly.
Yeah,
yours
I mean,
is wait and see, D-Lo. You're gonna kind of, you decide you're gonna kind of wait and see till you see this in hand before making a decision.
Yeah. I feel like you know, I'm gonna be the person. I'm gonna be the test dummy, if you will, right? And see if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll pay the price, because that's how collecting kind of shakes out sometimes, right? You know, you're rewarded for pre-ordering, and if it's great, then hey, you got a great figure at a great price, and you're very happy. Me, I want to make sure that I'm going to be happy with it before I put my money down. And if that's sold out and that's not available for me to purchase, then, you know, you go the aftermarket way, you know? So, you know, that's just kind of how collecting has always been, in a sense here. So nothing's ever truly ever sold out. Just means you got to pay more to get it.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is a character, it's Michelle Pfeiffer character, Catwoman specifically, that I grew up with. I love this version of Catwoman. So if I get one, I want to make sure it's the best one. And that's the other thing as well, too, because if I don't pre-order this, and let's say Hot Toys comes out with one, and again, this is I'm not saying it is going to happen. This may be very well the only Catwoman we ever get. But if Hot Toys comes out with one and it happens to be better than this one here, and I've got $400, $500 invested into one that's not as good as the one, that's where it's like,
remember how many people were upset when they had the InArt Joker, and then Hot Toys finally announced theirs, and they're pissed. They're like, I pre-ordered with InArt, and I didn't know that they were going to do this, and it could be the same thing.
Great example there, Graham, because look how much that figure goes for now. Like, you can get that figure for pretty dirt cheap, all things considered there. And that's just the after effect of, like, what happens when another figure of the same character comes out, and some people feel it's better than the original one. So, like, that's where it's like, for me, as a person who doesn't own anything from Jazz Inc, that's really considering something for the first time, I'd rather wait and see. And if I have to, I'll pay the upcharge to do it. But I don't want to put money down on this here, just because there's always that possibility that something else is going to come out that might beat this one here. So I'm going to play it safe.
Brick, you getting this? You in?
Well, Hot Toys is 100% in my books making this. Maybe not battle damaged, but clean. I think I said it last time we talked about Catwoman, where when the license is up, you know, we're seeing a lot of statue companies making her. You know, we got Prime One, Blitzway, we got Jazz Inc. It's all happening at once. Hot Toys has this. They're making it. And that's the way I think anyways. Are they going to make a battle damage? Nah, probably not. But they're for sure making it clean, and you're probably going to end up with one head sculpt. If you're lucky, maybe two, but for sure, you know, that one head sculpt. You're not going to be getting what you're getting with Jazz Inc. when it comes with 3 head sculpts, and you know, I'm sure we'll get a good base with Hot Toys. We saw that with Batman Returns, but if I were to get this, I would get battle damaged. I would want the deluxe battle damaged. I think all 3 of these sculpts look amazing. The clean version, to me, one sculpt looks good, and that's with their tongue sticking out. I know it sounds dirty, but that's the only sculpt that I like with the clean. And I honestly don't know which one you get with the single. I'm guessing you get the middle one with the single.
Yeah, probably.
But that one on the left, that is rough in my opinion. So if I do get the deluxe with the battle damage, then I can get the clean with Hot Toys and be happy. Now, I think if they do announce this, it's going to be quick with Hot Toys, because they are going to want to compete with this. It is getting a lot of hype. I mean, I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world, but here it's got a lot of hype right now, and people are talking about it. I do wish that maybe they made the deluxe version a little bit more expensive to get that diorama, you know, and then made the 2-pack a little cheaper, you know, so that you're getting the deal. Like I would rather spend $525, $535 to get that diorama for the deluxe than $490, $450, $490, and then say, ah, shit, but I could pay $950. It's like, you know, that's a lot. That's a lot just to get that diorama piece when you know Hot Toys is coming out with one. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I think it looks great. I think I saw a question is if it's pleather, it's not pleather. So that's
I was just going to ask,
like, what is Hot Toys going to do? Are they going to do pleather? Are they going to do leather? Are they going to try some new material? Like what's their decision
some
on
sort
this?
of like,
is that why they're taking forever to come out with it? Because
it's a tough suit to
well,
replicate.
not only that, but they're doing like 100 figures right now, so they can't push this out as fast and show the little teases like Jazz Inc can right now, right? Like, even though Jazz Inc is smaller, like, they have more time to focus on this one figure with 6 head sculpts in total. But dude, Catwoman, I mean, yeah, I've gotta at least consider buying this. I gotta tell myself I'm gonna get this. But I'm telling you right now, if Hot Toys does come out with the battle damaged, and it's nothing against Yost, nothing against Jazz Inc. I could see myself, if I do pre-order this, canceling it and go for like the deluxe whatever for Catwoman with Hot Toys. But if they don't do a battle damage, I'm for sure. I'm at 90% now. I know before I was at 90% getting this battle damage. Now, is it going to be like $565 for the deluxe through like kit or something? Because that's a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? Like it's $490. Yeah,
Ultimate Deluxe.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, that's $565, almost $600.
Probably.
That's a lot of money. But that's the one I want. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know how payments work. Payment plans. I don't know when this is actually going to be released.
Can we pre-order through Jazz Inc, or do we have to go through Spec Fiction?
We cannot go through Jazz Inc because
Spec Fiction or
North America you cannot go.
Does Kit do payment plans? I think he just does NRD and then pay it off.
He just does NRD, and that's the thing. Like, is this going to be released in February? You know what I mean? I doubt it.
This will hit you over the head, man.
Right? It's going to come out of nowhere. I'm like, shit, $600. Who wants it? You know, it's going to be one of those things. You know, just being honest. But if yeah, I want it though.
The cool thing about the basic battle damage, let me get back to it. This is like my favorite head sculpt of the battle damages. I don't know, it's just something about that one I like a lot. But I don't know.
I'm in agreement with you on that, dude. I think that's the strongest one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one. But DLO and Justin, we already know Brick wants to go battle damage. What about you guys? Battle damage or clean? Because for me, I think the clean is more iconic and what I would want, but at the same time, I think the battle damage just came out better.
Yeah, I'm all in battle damage. I'm with Brick on that. Like, don't get me wrong, that tongue right there, bro.
It's a good tongue.
That's an awesome sculpt, man.
Those eyes looking up like that.
Yeah,
seriously.
But I will say the battle damage, dude, just to me captures, like, I would have loved to have seen a Selena Kyle figure. They did that statue where it's just her before she becomes Catwoman. I love that look for the character, and I feel like with the battle damage, and I think that's why we like that sculpt, Graham. At least that's why I like it, because you're getting a little bit of a peek into the character before she's Catwoman, but you're also getting that battle damage look through her whole journey for the movie. And I just think it looks amazing, dude. So for me, as cool as the clean looks, if I'm picking between this, man, I'm with Brick. I think it's battle damage deluxe all day.
Yeah, I do think all of these are actually strong, but this one's kind of my favorite. Where if we're looking at these, they look good, but like the likeness is there, but at the same time, they look a little plasticky or fake.
Yeah,
maybe it's just the photo.
She just looks really puffy on that one on the left. I don't know, on the cheeks, like very.
She's like mid-word though now, when she's about to say meow.
Right.
As she does all that
Yeah,
looking around.
I mean,
Like,
'cause
he-
these it
That's
does
true.
look,
That's-
those look
that's
really
fair.
good here. Like it's
that looks great on the right. I
working.
love that look. Yeah,
that's tough, man. I don't know.
Gotta get the two
that's a
pack,
tough
baby.
decision, man, for collectors because
yeah. And I mean,
know
you
what
do
would've
get a
been
lot. Look,
awesome?
you get a lot with this DX, man. I just want to quickly say, like, a couple people have said in the comments, like, we do have to look at that. Like, the thing with Hot Toys, though, is we've all got a Hot Toy figure before. We know what to expect. Not with the Artisan, though. And I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of this. I've pre-ordered those Artisans from Hot Toys quick, and we're spending up to like $425, $450 for those, and we're not getting as much as we're getting with this. So I am intrigued, even though the price point, you know, there is, by the time you get everything, it is up there. I will say you are getting a lot with this. I mean, even though I'd love to have that diorama base with the 2-pack, like I truly would love that. I still think the Ultimate DX for $490 before all taxes and shipping, all that stuff, I still think you're getting a pretty decent value. Again, all this stuff's so expensive, it's hard to really say, like, hey, man, it's a good deal for $500. But as opposed to those, yeah, exactly. But when you compare it to the Artisan line from Hot Toys, and we still don't know how that's going to turn out and how expensive those figures are getting, you know, even for Iron Spider, it's like that was like $425, and I pre-ordered that immediately. And it's like with this one, you are getting a lot. So I will just say, even though like I've discussed the price, the 2-pack to me is just, I just don't know, man. $1,150.
man.
A lot of money, man.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Hot Toys will save us tonight, and they'll just announce their Catwoman tonight. Wouldn't that be something right before pre-order? I don't think
that'd
it's
be
gonna
wild.
happen, but
I don't
So
either.
let me ask you guys something, if that's okay, Graham.
sure.
Let's say Hot Toys announces one, let's say this week or next week, tomorrow, tonight, and it doesn't look as good, but it's Hot Toys. Like, would you buy just because it's Hot Toys, or would you then be like, well, I'm going to go Jazz Inc? It's not bad looking, it's just not as good.
Here's where I'm at. Hopefully this is on 1/6 kit tomorrow, because he's going to already have his all-in price included. His shipping's included. I don't have to pay tax, so that's worth something. I really can't justify, I can't judge if I'm going to get this or not until I see that price. I do have, because I've never really bought from Jazz Inc before, but I do have confidence with 1/6 kit. I've bought a lot from him, so I do trust him. It's just one of those things, you know, am I going to be able to justify $550, $575 for a figure? I don't know. So I don't know.
Let me ask you guys this here real quick. Is anybody on the panel here going to get the Batman Returns Deluxe that's coming out with the Keaton head sculpt with the Batman?
Yes.
We are.
60/40 that I'm getting it.
Okay. So that one there is $340 for the deluxe with the Batman with the Keaton head sculpt, additional exclusive, right? So to put in perspective over here, you're at $490 respectfully with the battle damage, right? And then it's $450 with the clean one over there. So we're looking at, for a third head sculpt, because technically you get 3 with Batman, right? Bruce Wayne and Batman. You throw a third one in here, I mean, basically for another $100, basically you're getting another head sculpt. That's a really good value there. That really is a good value there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you there. So, I mean, where I'm going with this here is that, like, this all hinges on just basically one thing. It's not price, because I think the price at this point, when you compare it to what if Hot Toys were to make the same thing, would be identical. I really do think it would be identical. Price point dollar for dollar. I think
DLO, I think actually if they did a one head sculpt artisan version of battle damage, it would be 480 or 425.
Well, no,
You know
no,
what I mean?
I'm not even
Like,
talking. I'm not even throwing the
yeah.
whole artisan. We're not going.
Well, I'm
artisan
just saying if they did like the hair and everything, I feel like they would do it that way.
Sure.
It would
I
be
mean,
more money.
yeah, I
than
mean,
Hot Toys.
they've got their artisan line. I'm not even talking about artisan. That's why I brought up Batman instead of artisan for this comparison here, because it's 2 head sculpts as opposed to 1, right? And again, with these deluxes here have 3 in them there, right? So I'm basing it based off of quantity, not necessarily of the quality of an artisan line as they would want you to pay for, right? So I'm talking specifically, it's $100 difference. I think the price wise, what I'm going with this here is, like, I don't see there being a difference necessarily between the Hot Toys price, if Hot Toys were to include 3 head sculpts compared to what Jazz. So I think Jazz is being fair in that point. So I'm trying to say that they're being fair in their pricing on what they're giving you in these packages here. So what I was going to go with is the only thing that really generally matters, which is good. We don't have to worry about price. That's usually my number one thing I talk about with these conversations. The one thing we need to look at here is point blank, what is going to look better? Is this going to look exactly like we're seeing now? Is it going to look like this when we get to it? Is there going to be QC issues in the first batch like there's been traditionally there? And if there is ever going to be anything to compare to, is this going to beat that? And I think I think this is the fairest battle you can ask for here, because they're not asking you to pay more than what you would pay for a Hot Toy. That's where I'm trying to go with this over here. And I think this is this is a better problem for collectors than most cases when we do these comparisons, the InArts of the world compared to Hot Toys, etc. like that. This one's a more fair battle. This is going to come down to who can make the better figure at this point. And I think at that point, naturally, the collectors are going to go with what they think is going to be best, because price-wise, null and void. I just feel like they're the same price, in my opinion here. So that's where I was kind of going with that, Brickster.
I'm
I was real quick. I just want to say, I was agreeing with you that it's a decent price. It's a good price. And I was kind of agreeing by saying, like, even if Hot Toys did Artisan,
gotcha,
it would be more expensive for less, you know?
My bad, bro.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I'm not too concerned with how this is going to look when it's finished, just because I do know the time and the care that Jazz Inc puts into the stuff that they make and whatnot. And like, their vehicles are amazing. Sure, there could be some quality control issues at first, but I do believe they would be taken care of. Could it be a hassle? Possibly, but I don't know. I just think they're going to try to get this right, being their first 1/6 figure as well. The prototype looks great. I know he does the details to a T. He really tries to get it as accurate as possible. So I'm almost not as worried about that. To me, it's just how much is it going to cost, and then which one would I even get? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and we're getting to the point too, man, where like, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, like, we're getting to the point where like now everything that's coming out is 400 plus, like, and I'm almost to the point where I don't really want all the bells and whistles anymore. Like, I'm kind of getting that way with some of these pieces. Like, I know it comes with 10 hands, 12, 12 of this, 10 of this, 5 of this. But dude, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't use any of these accessories half the time. Like, they just end up in the box. And so I think that's a good selling thing to put out. Like, hey, look at all this stuff you're getting. But at the same time, I'm more concerned with the quality of the head sculpt. I do like how this has a custom body. I think that was we've kind of overlooked that a little bit, like custom bodysuit and corset, like the materials and stuff. So again, I'm with DLO. Like, the price is the price. I think if you're willing to pay $400 for an artist in Hot Toys, you're willing to pay $500 for a Jazz Inc Catwoman. Like, I think that's not going to make or break it. But it's not as easy to say, yeah, I'm getting that, as it is. We talked about the Ahsoka line earlier, a 260 Thrawn, as opposed to like committing to like, yeah, man, 500 Catwoman, I'm all in on this. Like, especially with that looming of like, are we getting a Hot Toys? And the one big advantage Hot Toys has is people are comfortable with it. Like, exactly what you're going to get. Pretty much the window, how to order it. You can go through Sideshow, that all the distributors are going to have it. The point of sale between you and buying is very easy, as opposed to like, now you got to go to maybe, somebody that's just getting into 1/6 collecting really wants this character. Now they're having to go to these 2 shops over here. Maybe it's sold out in a week or so. So again, there's a lot of variables, man, but I just wanted to say that I do think you're getting, the more I looked at the value proposition, and again, $500 is a lot of money, guys, a lot. But I will say, just with the way things are going, with all the stuff you're getting with that, I don't think that price is too crazy. And like DLO said, I think that is a fair price, all things considered.
I think you're onto something there too, where with these prices continuing to climb, I'm almost in the camp of I'd rather sacrifice some of the accessories in order to get that price point back down, so I can collect more of these characters that I love, as opposed to, I'm going to be honest, like, it's kind of empowering lately how I've been collecting, where I feel I'm being so disciplined and I'm not buying as much. But at the same time, I would much rather, it's more fun to buy more figures and have more in my collection and do this a lot more often than once a month or whatever. So like I would definitely sacrifice some of these accessories and whatnot, and they're really cool. But like you said, a lot of the time they stay in the box. I was actually messing around with my DX Joker / Mars Toys Joker the other day, and I was looking in the accessories because it's an old DX, so it comes with a lot of really cool stuff. It comes with the gas mask, the walkie-talkie, the whatchamacallit, the comm device or whatever, the makes you talk loud. I can't remember what those are called, but comes with a shit ton of stuff basically, and they're really detailed and they look really cool. And I'm like, wow, man, I even forgot this figure came with this stuff. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, but I still can't really use this with the figure. So back into the box it goes, and until next time when we try to work out a different pose, it'll sit there. So like, just it's mostly going to sit in the box and I'm going to forget about it. And as cool as it may be, it doesn't mean I'm just going to be able to use it. I'm not one of those collectors that will try to put as much of the accessories in the hands just to use them. Like, he's still got to be movie accurate and look the part. So just kind of food for thought too. Like, I kind of agree with you there, where these prices are getting so high. I've had to change Megaphone. Thank you, Clinton. I've had to change how I'm collecting, and it would be nicer to go back to buying more figures that maybe have less. And I get that's kind of what they're doing with Hano, but like, we haven't really seen much more than just classic X-Men. So I don't know. That's a good point though.
Yeah. And I think that for me also, man, is like, I mean, I think that's why like that Padme figure that came out this year is still one of my favorites of this year, is because I felt like it was very limited with the accessories, and it kind of took the guesswork out of it for me. And I was able to get that at a good price for that type of figure, Star Wars license. And I've had these other figures, red, white, and blue red and blue Spider-Man, for instance, that base, that diorama base is cool. Like, it's that, that chimney with the snow on it or whatever, that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with the Sandman base. Those bases are cool. But now, like you said, man, now the price is just raising and raising and raising. And I'll be honest with you, man, even with Spider-Man figures, for me personally, I don't even have the web accessories on these things, So, yeah. But again, I was just kind of wrapping up that thought, Graham. I'm with you on that. Like, that's my thoughts on it too, man. I'm to the point where as long as the likeness is there and right out of the box, I want it to look as good as possible, of course, at the price point that works for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Clinton says, well, what accessories would you delete to save on cost? I mean, it's from this particular one. I don't know. I don't need 3 head sculpts. But it's definitely like, I don't know. Like, I just know with Hot Toys, there's some things that I just never use. So it's almost like I don't need them. It's nice that they're there. But like with this one, I don't know. Like, I don't think, like, let's just say you could pick any of these 3. You guys, this is your favorite one, but would you really go with this one if that's the one you're getting? I'd probably go middle if I had to pick one out of these.
Right,
3.
because if we look at like Harley Quinn, it gets old after a while with the mouth open and the tongue out, right? So like it limits what you can do with the character. So like, I do understand like having these are nice and you can change it up, but I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, other than I don't think you can pick.
Yeah, some of these are too scene specific to be an everyday rotation in your display. I get what you mean by that.
These kind of work better if we're being honest.
Yeah,
but...
those.
Yeah, you can do a lot more of those battle damage.
Yeah. There's a performance in these. There's like different. Like, that's why I think we're drawn to that far right one, guys. Like, there's something about that one that's like battle damage look, but you're seeing that like innocence of the character before she became Catwoman. Like, I just think that's by far as good as all these sculpts are, man. That sculpt really just stands out to me as well. That one on the far right there.
Well, I think with the clean one, you can get away with the basic, because that one that you guys like in the middle makes the most sense. And then obviously the DX is exactly what it's there for. It's, for that person that wants to go all in on that one there. I mean, in fairness to the choices, I do appreciate the choice they made, because they're very scene specific, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way, because every once in a while, you get a hot toy and you're just kind of looking at the face expression and be like, what reference did he use for this here? This doesn't really feel like you feel like you have to work harder to kind of make some figures look good just because of some of the choices that they make. But with an offering like this, I can honestly, from being a Batman fan, I can tell you every single scene of each head sculpt that they picked. And so I appreciate the detail in something like that. But I will say where they can save money to get back to that there, people probably may not agree with me on this one here, but I'm not crazy about dioramas. In my opinion, I don't think every figure needs a diorama.
Sure.
I don't think that's necessary. Back in the day, it was like if you got a DX, well, the DX came with like a badass base, right? But like there's so many figures that are not DXs today that, you know, they have these bombastic bases there. I just got my Batman 89 today, right? I was one of the last ones in the group to get it. And my first reaction when the box came to my door, I was like, good grief, man. Like,
Told you.
yeah, I mean, you did, but I wasn't prepared. Wasn't prepared for what I saw. And I just
So I
told
can't
myself,
get
like,
over the size of the box. What a dick.
Can't even fit it through the door.
No, it's wild. It's wild because I got mine from Underground Figure. Shout out to Ray. Underground Figures. I kind of miss Steve now, but no, I mean I got mine from Ray, and you know my Anakin came in the same packs. He used essentially the shipper that Sideshow uses to give you your rations of your figures or whatever you want to call it there, and basically that giant box he gave me was my Anakin in that. But basically it's in the box that you can only fit 2 of those Batmans in there. So they come packaged too because they're so darn big. Usually you can get 4 or so in one of those giant shipper boxes they get there.
There he is.
But yeah. So I mean it's stuff like that. It's just like, holy cow, man. I mean, these, like, every figure doesn't need all this craziness.
That one's the outlier, though. That one.
But that's the
Yeah.
outlier. In fairness, like, it was a DX and now it's not a DX, but it has DX parts there. But I mean,
But I see what
every
you're saying.
Spider-Man from Rick, you're gonna hate me for this one, but every Spider-Man from No Way Home did not need a freaking gigantic diorama.
Oh, how dare you! Shut your mouth.
I know.
When you're talking to me,
know,
sir.
man. It's gonna be okay, but I mean, like,
And, I was
for
just
example.
I wanted to just mention what Clinton was saying here in the chat about like the complaint about the regular base, DX base. I just want to put it like, dude, I'm just talking about in general. Like, I'm not talking
Right.
about this particular thing with Jazz Inc. I'm actually saying you're getting like good value here considering where the prices are going.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in general where all the prices for 6 scale stuff continue to rise. And it's almost like we're getting more and more accessories to kind of warrant like why we're
Right.
raising this price up to $400 or
Exactly.
$500+.
Well, and these bases are cool, but I'm going to run out of room one day, and I want to go down to the smaller bases when I have to, you know. So I still want both those bases. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Right.
What was the regular price for the Batman 89 without the base? Was it 280 or
was
something
it
like
280,
that?
I think.
Right?
So, yeah, something like that deal. I believe so. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So I mean, yeah. What I forget, I don't even know how much I paid for mine, but let's call an extra $80 or something like that for that. I mean, hey, that's an extra $80 right there. That's, you know, a third of a figure or whatever with these prices, whatever like that. So I mean, I just feel like if we we'll use Artisan for example here. If Artisan was like the original DX where you got all the all-in, all the bells and whistles kind of line, cool. Set it up to be that for DX, but regular releases, in my opinion, shouldn't have all this massive stuff as well too here, because I feel like you're kind of like forcing our hand. If we want that figure, we need to get this with all this massive stuff that 9 out of 10 people probably are not going to have the space to put it anywhere or use for that matter there. So that's an easy place for me. I say, hey, if you can just do that, restrict it to your DX Artisan line, restrict it to your premium lines, Jazz Inc., your in arts with your whatever you guys want to call your stuff there. If you restrict it to that and give us an affordable option that gives us a decent amount of accessories, prime accessories that everybody can actually see themselves using, and forego some of these extra, you know, extravagant accessories that are very specific and can only be used a certain kind of way, that saves us money, that saves you guys money in production, and everybody kind of wins, right? So yeah, that's kind of where, like, I think like we're losing some of the direction of what's important in the collect. The figure is the most important thing, not these egregiously large dioramas that not everybody's going to use.
Do you think when it comes to the accessories, though, the reason why they come with so much, and not every figure, but there are figures that like come with an excessive amount of accessories, do you think it's because like they don't know which ones to like push out with this figure because they know, oh well, I'm gonna be pissed if I don't get a gun, or I'm gonna be pissed if I don't get a whip, or I'm gonna be mad if you don't give me the high heel. You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna always be upset. So they're like, hey, we got everything for you, but to make everybody happy, we did have to raise the price, kind of thing. But
yeah, I think it's a marketing thing for me, in my opinion, Brick. Like, I think it's a thing where when you're selling a figure, kind of like we're looking at this screen right here,
yep.
we see that price, and then if all we're seeing is custom body, head sculpt, base, we're going to be like, oh, well, that's but now that you see 10 other things, like 10 different claws, and again, yep. I'm just using this Jazz Inc as an example because it's on screen. Hot Toys does the same thing. Like the Mandalorian figures, they reuse those parts on all those Mandalorian figures, the jetpack, flamethrower, all that stuff. So for me, the stuff I get excited about is when they update you on like the materials that they're using. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't hyped for that Indiana Jones, but they're using new material there. They're using a new for that deluxe base. They're using a new mechanic where it's going to be a leg holder that is hidden, so you don't see a crotch grab or anything. That's the stuff that I like am interested in seeing more of, and that's what I liked about what we're getting here, is they're kind of showing you, hey, custom body. Like this is like custom body, movable eyes, you get, this, and this. So I do like that.
Suit
and that's
material
that's
too.
what I want to see more. Exactly, Graham. Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. Like if, let's just say Hot Toys did this figure and it was a leather suit, like that might drive the price up a little bit further too. Like, I don't know. Would they do pleather still for a Catwoman? I don't know. The more we're talking about this, the more I'm kind of leaning towards this basic battle damage, because it's my favorite head sculpt of the line as well. And I feel like I wouldn't break the bank necessarily, but I still got to see what my all-in price is going to be. But
and that comes with the head sculpt you like, right, Graham? This
right?
basic?
Yeah. So it comes with I mean, according to the picture,
I'm kind of leaning here too, man. I'll be honest. Like if it comes with that sculpt,
I don't need all three. And like you said, like
you guys
we'd
are talking me into
sacrifice
just
some of
getting the
that
basic
stuff.
too.
Yeah, we'd sacrifice some of those accessories to keep that price point down. And I do think, when you compare it to other figures coming out with Hot Toys, you can justify 400 a little bit better with what you're getting. And I do think it's going to look really good. I do really like this head sculpt, and taking into consideration the fact that it's this that's not going to be a pleather material is definitely
that's
a
huge,
plus
man.
as well.
It really is, dude. I think I'm in, Graham. I'm in.
DLO?
The more we were talking out loud, man, I'm
I know
serious.
it's
the more
well, and the
we're
more
talking out loud, the more value.
Batman
we're seeing
Returns.
in it.
It's Catwoman. It's
yeah, this is my favorite Batman movie. So
I love it. I love it too. I love it too, Brick.
I mean, of course, I'd love the diorama base, but I don't need it. I don't need the cats. I don't need the 3 head sculpts. But
it kind of helped us, Graham, in a way, if you think about it.
Like
that not being included, other than the 2-pack, is going to help me potentially save some money just getting this basic battle damage version. Because I'm like you, I would have probably paid extra. I'm not going to pay 2-pack money extra, but to get that Hell Here base, I probably would have paid more money to get that. But now I think this is going to save me quite a bit now that I'm actually looking at what you get with that basic battle damage, man. Once you pointed that out, I was like, you know what? You're right. Because with this Rocky figure, I got 3 head sculpts. I love that. It's cool when you're doing a review on it. But dude, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably never going to change out that sculpt that I have on it. You know what I mean? Same with this.
Yeah.
So
wait, do you not get the cat if you go basic?
Let's talk about the real stuff.
No, you don't.
Do you get the cat or
but
not?
Oh,
here's
that
a question though. Here's a question. What if we pre-ordered the basic battle damage and they gave us this head sculpt or something? Like are these the actual? I mean, I'm assuming this is the head sculpt. It's the normal one. I'm assuming, but like, this is why I said marketing is bad, because there are no pics that show each SKU correctly.
Dude, I'm gonna spend $400 on this figure. I better get a fucking cat. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
That's a lot of money.
Passion, baby. I love it.
So the cats are right here. They're in the deluxe.
Shame.
DX.
Come on, man. Costs like $5 to make. Like, give me a cat.
Probably just get some 1/6 black cats on eBay.
It's true.
DLO? Are you
Is
in?
it cat or bust, DLO?
Are you one of us?
The cat or bust.
I already told you guys the strategy, guys. I mean, what's there for me to say?
All right. Well, hey, we didn't know. We just didn't know. If
Hey,
you
we
changed
tried.
your
I mean, like I
mind.
hear
You're all
you,
like on me here.
but you're all crazy. That's where I am with that. I'm gonna wait.
Damn.
I'm gonna
Wow.
wait. It's just one of those things. I just got a gut feeling, and I just want to feel better about it before I put my hard-earned money.
No, I
Down to something
completely
like that.
understand that.
No,
I hear
that's a
that.
good
I'm not all
strategy
in yet.
for
I'm
him.
just,
No, I know, guys.
but I'm
not-
definitely more in than I thought I was before this show started. So
I will say
Yeah.
this here though. I think it's talking myself through the announcement from like knee-jerk reaction to like what the hell, this is crazy pricing, to slowly kind of digesting the information. And again, once again, shout out to Yos's video because I think this is really, really helpful information that's really going to help a lot of collectors have some clarity on what they're going to decide to do with their decision to buy this figure or not. It's a great value. It's just, it's the unknown of this. I don't know what
it's
they can
perfectly
do
fair.
with the figure, right? And that's the only hang up, because I think dollar for dollar, if you're comparing apples to oranges, it's still about the same what you would if you go with the other guy, right? I just want to be 100% sure, because this is the first, and that's a good thing, but that's a bad thing as well too, because there's nothing else to base my decision over. And we're talking about if I wanted to go all the way in on this here, and I can see people going all the way in because, you know, that's what we do as collectors. Sometimes we just do that. That's a big amount to ask when I don't have anything to base my decision off of. I know when I started collecting Hot Toys, I didn't get the most expensive Hot Toy when I first got it. I got something that was something I liked, something that was fairly reasonable in cost. And then when I got it in hand, okay, I was hooked on Hot Toys, and I got more, and I got more comfortable, and I paid more and more and more and more. And I still am paying more to this day for even more figures after all this time. So, you know, it's kind of like dating, man. You got to warm up to it here. You can't always think you're going to hit a home run the first one, right? Sometimes you got to take it slow. Couple
Get
nights of
first
dinner.
base.
Maybe we catch a movie,
What-
you know?
What is the
Wine and
worst that
dining.
could happen though if you go
As long as the
all
next one's
in?
better.
If you went all in, I mean, you know, when you're saying all in, are you talking the 2-pack deal, or are you just talking about just in general, like going in and pre-ordering it? And
I'm going from like top to bottom over here. Like as far as
Gotcha.
like, you know, like, hey, if I'm a diehard fan, right, and I want both, because some people want both. Let's be honest.
right.
They don't have a Jazz Inc figure. Excuse me. They don't have a Jazz Inc figure,
ASIC.
and they're going to drop $1,000 on that plus more, whatever that's going to come out to afterwards. That is a lot of faith without anything to base it off of other than you like your Batmobile. And that's a weird comparison when we're talking figure to vehicle, right? Because those are totally two different types of things that are being made there. So, like, for me, like I said, I want it because of the character. But to go in on any of these here, if they turn out to be bad or have QC issues, which can happen, not saying they will, but can, I'd rather wait and let somebody else deal with those problems. And if they're not problems and I was overreacting, I'd rather pay the extra $50, $100 and know for sure. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of, I feel it. Then, of course, if I get it in hand and I like it, well, obviously the next Jazz Inc figure would be a totally different conversation, because now I have something to base my decision off of that I can use to decide what I would do with the next one that they have to offer. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of with that there. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm saying I'm going to wait and see. And if it looks good, if I can get it for a deal, great. Win-win for me. If I got to pay a little bit more, well, that's the name of the game sometimes. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Probably a little late, but I just put a poll up. I want to see what you guys out there are buying. So 77 in the house. I expect 77 votes. I probably should have put a none, but oh well. You got to be buying one of them. So which one are you going to be picking up? I want to see. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what it's 11 o'clock Central tomorrow, I believe. So noon Eastern. That these will go. Now, is that just for Jazz Inc? Or like is 1/6 kit just coming sometime after? Does anybody know how this is working? Like, is 1/6 Kit gonna have their pre-orders at the same time, or is it just strictly through Jazz Inc?
From what I
No
read on
idea.
the post, I thought, and again, I'm probably wrong. Somebody in the comments probably knows this, but I thought I saw where it was going to be like a simultaneous release on both sites, but I
Okay.
could be wrong on that. But I thought
That'd be
that's
nice.
what I had heard Steve say when I was texting him about it earlier.
And when DLO was talking, I kind of played this with the volume on, and he did say, "This is the head sculpt you're gonna get with it." So
Hey,
Mhm.
it's basic battle damage for me then. Like
Right.
I'll be
I
honest.
think
probably
that's-
where I'm
Yeah,
going.
I think
my option.
I'm moving to that.
I think that was
Yeah.
part of the reason. I think part of the reason why I was just not sure what or if any I was going to get, because with 5 SKUs or 5 options, it was like a little overwhelming to be like, where do I even go from here? Like, what do I choose? You know, clean version's iconic, but I do think as a figure, this one looks better. I don't know, something about that clean version. Like, she looks good, but maybe just not quite as impressive. I don't know. Because here, this looks really good too, and I don't know.
I just think there's more personality with the other one. There's more
Yeah,
That's a
of
good
that
I think
point.
you nailed
performance.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just
I love
and
it.
the head sculpt just looks better, just better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 9 hands. I mean, gonna have a lot of different gestures you're gonna be able to do. Comes with the newspaper. Well, this is the
No
ultimate.
cat.
So yeah, this is
No
the
cat,
ultimate. So it
yeah.
does come with the cat
Yep.
Nice.
or the cats, 2 cats, and the newspaper. But if you go, yeah, you're just getting basically the hands, the whip, the taser, the snow stand. Did we see the snow stand itself? Is it like part of?
Yeah.
Is it this without the backdrop? Is it just this?
I
I'm not
haven't
sure.
seen it in any
Because
photos
if
yet.
so, that looks really good too. I mean, that's fine. I don't know. I haven't really seen that. But I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, there's some stands that they do that aren't necessarily diorama, but they're, I can't show it to you, but like I have a custom snow speeder Luke stand, and it's snow, but it's kind of
standing
like
right in front of us. That snow stand. I just realized that's the snow stand right there. I was just looking at one of the photos.
this one.
Well, second thought. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm on Jazz Inc.'s Facebook page here, and I thought I just saw a photo with the cat accessory. I was like, oh, isn't that standing on the snow stand? But I guess that's the deluxe premium one or whatever.
Hammer of
I don't
God does think it's just without the dial on top.
That would make sense. I can see that there.
All right.
Brick, what
Yeah.
are you willing to pay for if somebody parted out the cats? What are you willing to pay for those cats?
$30
All right. That's
for both cats, mind you.
somebody will pay 30, which sure pay 50, right?
There you go. Or you pay nothing and you just put them with all of them.
That's
you know?
what I was gonna say.
Give me
Yeah.
one cat for the basic. Like, come on. Shit.
Yeah, just give us
Ooh,
one.
Colin
cat.
brings up a good question here. Is there's no waist grabber or flight pole or anything?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I didn't even consider that.
I did think about it, but then I forgot about it. But yeah, like I can't believe she'd have she's on high heels. So is that really going to be? Is that
That's already
is
hard
if
as it
there's-
is.
Gonna be
if there's a
keeping her off
magnet, is that
balance
really
a little
going
bit with
to
those
Yeah.
do the
heels.
trick?
Yeah, think of Joker with his
Dog Pat's got
dress
the
shoes and stuff like
answers.
that. That's hard to balance something like that.
15.
interesting.
magnets. Nice.
Okay.
Comes with
I
fits
don't know how I
okay.
feel about the magnets. I haven't bought into that yet.
Still don't believe it either.
Let me check this poll. Hopefully you guys voted, because I'm going to close this out because we're going to be saying goodnighty night soon. Let's see here. 14 votes. Come on, guys. 87 in the house, and we only got 14
Hey, come on, guys.
effing votes.
That's
Now more of you
terrible.
showed up. What the hell? Vote more.
Brick will go up to $40 on some cats if we get some more votes here.
For both of them.
Yeah, it's got to be both. Don't pull
It's
that.
gotta be
Don't
both.
send one. gotta be
50%
both.
said the
Let's
2
make
pack.
that clear.
28% said basic, and then 21% said DX in some capacity.
Hmm.
So sounds like I mean, again, very minimal number of votes. Yeah, Elver says
Well,
maybe
that might
they're not
be
buying.
because a lot
probably
of
an
people.
accurate thing.
They're just not buying.
Yeah, right.
Um,
I was gonna say.
But yeah, I mean, the people that are buying, it sounds like they may go all in and just get the 2-pack. Here we go, Brick. Let's see what we got here. Here's a cat. $18.99.
I mean, let me just say
Got a bow tie
that
or
Mars Toys
phone or
is
something?
giving me an Oompa Loompa for a basic figure. You can give me a cat.
Yeah, but they're not paying Wonka prices for license. Hi-oh.
Well, no,
I would like to see a little
but
saucer
I can also
of
buy an
milk,
Oompa
too.
Loompa separately. Okay.
Here,
Give me
just
an
get
option
this
to buy a
cat.
cat. I'm not getting that.
Jazzy,
cat.
get us that saucer of milk, and you might have a buyer on the Ultimate DX 2 pack.
Looks like a
That's all I'm
rock.
gonna say.
This looks pretty good.
Hey, that's good.
And look,
That's
you could
not a
tip
good
it on
cat.
its side and it looks like it's playing.
Hey, look at
No, it's
that, Brick.
dead. What are you talking about?
So
Dude, we're
multiple
about to go down the
poses.
rabbit hole of a whole new version of
How
collecting.
much is that? How much is that? $10?
$10.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
$10.
I'm
Hey,
just
last
saying,
one. 3's already sold, Brick.
if we start going deep into Batman Returns, someone better make a Max Shrek. I want Max
Yeah.
Shrek.
Oh, dude. Yeah. that'd be
Christopher
sick.
Walken, let's go. Somebody do that.
Look at this.
Please.
That'd
Bow
be
tie
sick,
kitty.
man.
Come on now.
Cute.
Oh, she
I'll be honest with you,
purry.
Brick. You can do what you want. I wouldn't search for this too long. Who knows where this leads?
Yep. All right, you got some similar items at the bottom already there.
Look, we've noticed you've bought 25 cats for 6-scale figures.
I like what
You
Luke
have no
Christian
Catwoman
said. I was
figures.
thinking that too.
Wait, I'm curious.
Oh
How
my
many
gosh.
people do we have watching now that we got that slight little tease at the bottom of that cat picture there? All right, we're still the same. Not better or worse. You didn't play it long enough. It's okay.
Let's see. I voted, but I actually will not get it because I'm already getting
Oh, nice.
the J&D
Dang,
one.
well, there you go.
Wow.
Well,
Flex.
good for you.
Good flex.
Lock it all
flex.
you.
All right, guys. Well, we are. Geez, how the hell did we get to 3 hours? I was literally trying to end this an hour ago, but hey, that's what happens each and every single week. So it is what it is. You guys are accustomed to it at this point. But yeah, that's the show for tonight, man. Lots of good conversations. We'll see what tomorrow brings when it comes to the Catwoman coming out on pre-order. Brick, let's start with you. What's going on if you want to plug your channel?
Oh, the movie canon. 3 hours is nothing. I feel that. No. What's going on with my channel? So I've got Ladypool coming in tomorrow, so I'm gonna do a
Heyo.
review on her. Don't know
hell
if I'm
yeah.
gonna do her right away tomorrow, but for sure, hopefully have that up by the weekend, by Friday, Saturday, something like that. But really excited for her coming in. And I have Bugle 6 Monday. So looking forward to having possibly my boy Flavio back. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, Bugle 6 every other Monday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So come check us out over there. It's where I hang out when I'm not on the Wolfpack. And yeah, other than that, everyone's over at New York Comic Con. I'm not, so that's fun. But really excited for all that content, like I said at the beginning of the stream, and seeing what everybody comes out with. So yeah, pretty stoked. No, I said I'm at 90. I said I'm at 90.
100%.
Yep.
Still leaving room for.
Yep. But I
I'm
think I
stoked.
might go with a basic. You guys talked me into that basic since it comes with my favorite head
It's kind
sculpt.
of like the best of both worlds. Like it's
Yeah.
somewhat
and
affordable
knowing that I'm going to be getting the Hot Toys clean. I mean, because that's coming.
he knows it. He
Oh.
knows it.
That's coming.
All right. D'Lo.
Don't know when, but it is. 10 years.
Make it quick,
Yeah.
D'Lo.
Well, first off, guys, great show, great conversation.
Snyder cut. Yeah.
Justin, thank you so much for coming on, dude. You were a blast to talk to tonight. Yeah, as far as my channel is concerned here, I'm back in business. We have power. We still have a collection to worry about, a channel, right? So I've been filming. Like I've been saying, I'm not divulging anything anymore. Like I said, I learned my lesson. I'm not divulging anything anymore, but working on stuff, trying to fix up the house a little bit at the same time, right? Because we still took a little bit of a hit at the house, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, I'm working on tons of stuff, still putting everything together, audio, editing, etc., like that. But also, I already said it early in the stream. I did get my Batman 89. I got my Anakin for episode 2. Loving those right now, and which is a good thing for anybody who's interested, because that means I'm getting closer to doing a collection tour, which I can't wait to share with you guys this year. Like, I'm really, if I don't want to, I pat myself on the back here, but I'm really proud of like what I did with this room. And if you guys have seen prior collection room tours from me here, you're going to see what a massive difference here is. Like, this isn't just talking and procrastinating. This is like legitimately, like, from top to bottom, the room has been totally remodeled here. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys once it's ready there. I told myself I was not going to start working on the tour until I had a Batman to put next to my Batmobile, because I sold my 89 and my 92 in anticipation that we might get these in figures, and now we do. And I got my 89 now. I'm feeling good. I feel like the camera's going to come on this weekend, and we're going to start recording some collection tour stuff. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to share it with everybody.
Damn. I need to get mine out before you, like plenty of time before you, so then people forget about mine by the time yours comes, because if I get mine too close to yours, they'll still forget about mine. So I need to just get it out so it's got time.
You're too kind.
But I actually filmed my tour, and I was gonna do voiceover after, but I almost think I'm just gonna refilm it. And this is why I don't like doing tours, because you think they're easy, but they're really difficult. And then I wind up filming them 3 times because it's never good enough. My arms get tired, and then I start getting shaky or whatever the case may be. But I might just go through it and just wing it and just say, like, almost like if Brick comes over and I'm just, or DLO or Justin, you guys come over to my house, and I'm literally just walking you through my figures and why I have them and what I like about them. I might just do that and see what happens instead of voiceover and doing it that way. So we'll see. I'm hoping, though, to get that out this week. I know I've procrastinated on that the last few weeks. So I keep waiting for more figures to come, but now it seems to be a lull. So I think I'm going to try to get that done. So that's what I got coming out. Justin, how you figure, how you sneaker, thank you so much for being the special guest tonight. You really did help carry the show. No doubt about that. Enjoy having you, and always love your charm and your humor as well. So it's a lot of fun. I do appreciate you making the time and staying up late with us. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, just let us know what you got going on your channel, because I know you've been hitting it hard too on YouTube, and you're starting to make a pretty good name for yourself.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, of course, y'all already know this, but really appreciate you having me on, man. Anytime you need somebody to sub in or anything, man, just DM me or whatever. But yeah, dude, love talking with DLO, love talking with Brick, love talking with you, Graham. So once again, man, really appreciate it. Glad I could have stepped in for Sneaker. Hopefully he's having a great time in New York Comic Con. Like Brick said, a lot of people doing that. Really excited to see what's going on. I just want to shout out real quick. Brick is doing YouTube page Best Hot Toys Releases, so definitely go vote on his page. I just saw that comment. Yeah. Real quick, thanks, buddy. Have this new stream that I'm doing on Friday nights called Casual Friday. We're going live at 9:30 Central Time on Friday nights, talking about movies, figures, the whole deal. It's kind of still navigating how I'm wanting to do the show right now. I'm just trying to get consistent with doing it every week. Yeah, I've been busy. I got some reviews up on my channel if y'all want to go check those out. And I also do, as he would say it, when I'm not bailing on him, like Steve would say, I am over on his stream on Sunday night, Sneak Peek. So definitely be checking that out. And again, just want to say thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody for having me on. Everybody's been super welcoming of me and having me on their show. So I can't thank you guys enough for letting me come on here and chat, man. Oh, I appreciate that, Gamer. That really does mean a lot to me, man, for real. I really do appreciate comments like that. So, and again, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't even be able to do it if people like Graham and Brick has been on his show, if they wouldn't have me on their shows to be able to communicate and talk and all that stuff. So I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about, is sharing this hobby with other people around the world. So that's the great thing about the internet and about YouTube, is we get to actually share this hobby together. So much fun. So much great topics we talked about tonight. So much good insight from all 3 of you guys. So I really do appreciate that. We'll be back next week for episode 75. And if you didn't notice, I wore some flannel today. And then next week might start getting a little Halloween-y going on. And then the week after, I believe, is it the week? I think it's the week after that is our Halloween special.
76.
So if you guys saw last year, we did wear some costumes. I think we'll be doing that again this year, and it should be a lot of fun. So, yeah, looking forward to that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. What's that?
I was just saying, I love episodes like that when you did like a Halloween special, or like a Christmas special or something. It's always fun to see what people are going to do on those.
Yeah, I do enjoy those too. So it's a lot of fun. Can't wait. All right, thank you. How ya figure? Thank you guys for watching in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming back each and every week. Have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. Be safe. Hit us with that too sweet. Oh yeah. Good night.